Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Button 91. We are giving you guys a super panel on Married at First Sight. Yes, it was another great episode. It's going to be even greater when you have the panelists come on and say their piece. I can see there's almost 200 of you guys already in here waiting for this great show, and it's climbing as we speak. Do me a massive favor, as the banner across the screen showed us, like the live and share it. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel. This is where we give you guys the super panels from another planet, baby, okay? Because my panelists are out of this world, okay? Don't play with me, don't play with me, okay? Anyway, listen, we're going to be talking about this latest episode. So if you are new to the channel, please keep it respectful in the chat. Debate, yes. Be funny, yes. But leave people's appearances alone, okay? I'm talking about the panelists. I'm talking about the show people, each other. Please leave the facial stuff and the body appearances alone. Let's leave that alone. Let's keep it cute in the chat, okay? All right? I appreciate you guys. I know you guys are good peoples, and you will, but let's leave that alone, okay? Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it, all right? Okay. All right, listen. Woo, Chile. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be a great show. Just in the chat real quickly, from 1 to 10, what would you rate the episode this week? 1 to 10, put it in the chat. What would you rate the episode? 10 being great, 1 being absolute, can't say the word. I was going to say a B word, but yeah. From 1 to 10, how would you rate this particular episode? From 1 to 10, 10 being great, 1 being really, really bad. Okay, let me know how you would describe this episode. Okay, we got some 5 and some 6s, some 8s. Okay, we got some great numbers coming through. Okay, I like it. All right, we got some 6.5. Y'all always gotta be extra with a 6.5. You couldn't use a whole number. Okay, 6.5, 7. I would give the average. I just can't see. There's so many answers. I can't tell you what the average is, but it looks like 6, looking like it's the average over there. Okay. All right, cool. As always, like I said, when I start these lives, I do want to make it a bit more fun before I get the panelists on here. So, you know, I like to do my little quiz. And some of you have been calling me broke because I'm going to give you $5. That's fine. I'm going to take my broke self and still give you $5. Okay. All right. So don't worry about it. All right. I'm going to be broke and give you $5 in cash out. In fact, I'm going to start giving $1 cash out at this point because y'all here disrespecting me. Okay. But I've got a question for you guys. Okay. I've got a question for you guys. Now I need to remember what the question was because I didn't write it down. Okay. All right. But it's a very simple one, okay? It's a very simple one. I've got it now. I've got a question. So if you're ready at the pumps, please, guys, listen. How it shows up on my YouTube is not how it shows up on your YouTube. If you think you're first on your YouTube, you're not first on my YouTube probably, okay? So I know you may feel like you said it first, but on my YouTube, it doesn't come out like that, okay? So just in case, all right? Now the panelists can be involved. I've been hearing the disgruntled cries from the panelists. Okay, they want to also be involved in the $5 cash app. So I'm also opening it up for the panelists to contribute as well. So if you have an answer, panelists, you can put it in the chat. Private room does not count. Has to be in the chat. Okay, all right. I appreciate you, panelists. All right, cool. Here is the question. Get yourself ready. Here is the question for the $5 cash app. Here is the question. Who was saying they don't like being called thick? Who said on this episode they don't like being called thick? Tell me the answer in the chat. Who does not like being called thick? I feel like this is rigged. I feel like this is rigged. I feel like this is rigged. Panelists, I feel like it's rigged. How did Trey? How you answer the question before I even said it, bro? Huh? Well, unfortunately, Trey's the one that won it. Trey was the fastest to the buzzer. He put Nicole there, so he gonna get the $5 cash app. I promise you, I'm not cheating, guys. All right, okay. $5 cash app went to Trey for the first one. Okay, let me be fair. Let me bring a second one. Let me bring a second one. Panelists, you can't join, okay? Because I want the audience to win. I love you guys, but I want the audience to win, okay? I'll buy you guys coffee when I come to America. All right, cool. Listen, look, for the rest of the audience, we've got another question. Trey won the first one. We're gonna get a second one going for you guys, okay? Okay. Who said? Fingers to the buzzers, guys. Fingers to the buzzers. Who said these words? Or roundabout, paraphrasing. I hope he doesn't resent me for this particular sacrifice? I don't want to say what it is, but who said, I hope he doesn't resent me for this particular sacrifice? God damn, Sean, you better slow the frick down. You not involved. You can't win a $5 cash out. You can play, but you can't win. Okay. Well, Sean was actually the fastest, but he's not allowed to win, guys. I did say that on this round, unfortunately. So I've got Robin Johnson, who was the winner. So Robin Johnson, send me your cash out. Trey, send me your cash out. You got $5 coming your way. Okay, I'm probably gonna put a note to it next to it. Brokey sending you $5. Okay. So listen, I need you guys to prepare yourself for the panelists coming on board, okay? All right, because you know what? This particular person here, you know what? They're always going to do it my way. You know that person who it is, okay? They only do it my way. You know who they are, okay? You know the next person I'm going to bring on, they are straight shooter. You know, they only shoot straight. You know what I mean? You know who they are. This is our favorite person too, storyteller. You know how he do. He likes to tell some stories, okay? You know who he be, and you know who this person is. Money, money, money. No, I'm joking. Money, money, money. I'm playing. But you know who this person is? This person is a great person because she likes to expound on the women and make sure that the women are taken care of, even when the men are. No, I'm joking. Even when the men are right. I'm playing with you, baby. All right, listen. I'm going to get my panelists on the stage. You know who they are, baby. You know who they are. Okay, first person, C-Way. Yeah. We say, baby, good?
I'm good. The panelists can't play that game anymore, Coach.
Oh, they can't play the game anymore?
We can't play.
Do you know what also? Thank you, C-Way, for telling me something, you know? Because as you just said something, I just realized I said Robin Johnson won. She didn't win. The answer is not Jasmine. It's Kirsten. So it's not her. I feel so bad. I feel so bad because it's not Jasmine. I just saw a black name like white people do and just thought they were all the same. My bad. I apologize. Robin Johnson, I apologize. You did not win. It's not Jasmine. It's Kirsten. Miss Ione is actually the one that was next. I do apologize. But you know what, Robin, send me a cash out anyway. It was my mistake. So send me a cash out. I'm feeling a glorious mood. You know what I mean? I'm trying to undo my brokicity now. So send me your cash out, Robin. And Miss Ione, send me your cash out. You all get $5 from me. But C-Way, how you doing? You good?
I'm good. How are you, Coach?
I'm alive and I'm well, baby. I'm alive and well.
No bucket hat today, so you won't be preaching, I'm assuming.
Oh no! I'm gonna keep it real, gentlemen. Today, you know what I mean?
No prayers.
I'm gonna let y'all do it.
That's when we get the prayers in the sermon.
I'm gonna let y'all do it today. Don't worry about that. I'm gonna let y'all do it. Mr. Shawn, Mr. Unfiltered, straight shooter. What you telling me, bro?
Yo, bro, I cannot wait to get into it. This episode is a mess. We're gonna have a good old time. And I see C-Way back, you know, we got C-Way back together with us. She's done over there traveling. So we got part of the band back.
That's what I'm talking about. Got our rock star back, baby. Trey, telling me, what you telling me, Trey.
Money.
What is this background?
Money.
This is in the truck.
He's on the road, C-Way. He's on the road.
I'm at work. I'm at work 24/7 when I'm at work 24/7. That's how it be. Somebody got to make this money. I guess it got to be me. And in all things. $5 too. Let's get it all.
I love that. Crystal, what you telling me, baby?
What's up?
Make it rain, Crystal. What you telling me?
Yes, it's gonna be some fun tonight.
Yeah, yes. I love that. We gonna have some fun tonight. Those of you guys who won, Trey, I know Trey will send it to me privately, but Miss Ione, Robin Johnson, send me a cash apps. You can send it to my email, littleblackbook91@gmail.com. Just so I won't forget, because if I don't do it tonight, you ain't getting it. So I'm telling you the truth. Okay, so I don't want y'all to be crying about it. Okay, all right. Listen, let's get into some conversation. I don't know who we're gonna start with first. You know, let's start strong. Let's start with Kirsten and Shaq. You know, because they're a talking piece right now. You know, old boy had his visor on, and she had a visor on, and still we couldn't get no vulnerability. I want to get you guys' thoughts. What were you guys' thoughts around Kirsten and Shaq's interaction on this episode this time round? I wanna know your thoughts, because Sean be waiting. So Sean, Mr. Unfiltered, give us unfiltered, okay?
Oh, bro, because I'm about sick of Kirsten, but I'm really more sick of Shaquille. You know, I'm just tired. I'm tired because, you know, she came through with the robes. She came through with the, you know, we're going to take this to the next level. You know, that's all you needed to tell me between the shorts she had on last episode, and she want to give me a full massage treatment. She's whipping out the robes. Why is he bumping his gums and talking too much? He done talked himself out of the possible potential PUSSIOUR that he could have got. Now, it's a slight chance because Kirsten likes to play with us. She likes to play, and I see what she likes to do. But listen, all I need is that little bit of wiggle room, and I'm gonna wedge my way in. You want to massage my feet? You want to bring out, you know, the ropes? We gonna see exactly how far this is gonna get. And I'm definitely not going to ruin nothing by bumping my gums and talking myself out of whatever you're prepared to go. So for me, I just could not understand, like, bro, you got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. And if she's giving you an inch, take the mile, bro, until she tells you to take your foot off the gas, because I'd have been all gas, no brakes. The minute she want to rub my feet, put my feet in a bucket of water and throw a robe around herself and me, ain't no talking. Let's turn down the lights, throw on a candle, and we're going to put on that playlist. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what Shaq is doing. I'm not going to get into it, but he definitely is not about business. He's about so many other things. I thought it was ridiculous about the job offer. I don't know if you want us to get into that part right now or just stay surface later. Okay, so that's it. I'm done.
Appreciate it, Sean. Thank you for reminding me. That's actually a good topic to talk about after. C-Way, it's your way. Talk to me.
I could not find a hat fast enough to put on my cap for Sean. I'm so mad. I was like looking for a hat. I'm gonna bring it back. First of all, yeah, I need a cap, and Sean need to put it on too because he knows everything he just said was cap. Kirsten was putting on for the cameras. I'm gonna try not to conflate what we learned on the after party, after live in the show. Thank you. Hold on.
Oh, you can do that. You can do that if you want. If it's a stuff in the after party. I don't know what happened after party, but if you want to add it for free, it's extra analysis.
Yes, extra context. Yeah, I had to put the cap on. You know, Kirsten is she has the benefit of watching this show season after season after season. She doesn't want to look like the people that we sit up on this platform and talk about. Everything she's doing is for the camera. She doesn't want him. That massage wasn't for him. It was all for the camera. Now, could a dude who was kind of slick with it, like Sean said, could have moved in and tried to take advantage of her trying to take advantage? Maybe. Possibly. But she wasn't serious. And I think the thing is now is that Shaq is realizing that this is not playing out in his favor. He knows that Kirsten is playing in his face. And I don't think he knows how to operate in that space because he knows, you know. What I'll say about them too, and the after party kind of shed light on this. There are some people who are guarded, and then there's some people who just ain't that deep. I think Kirsten is guarded, and she's not that deep. When she was on the after party and she was crying, I was like, poor baby. Like, she really is crying because people keep asking her to give something that she doesn't have. Like, she's a pretty girl. God gave her pretty beauty, nice body. That's her strength. I don't really feel like she has great conversation or deepness or none of those things. Baby don't have it. She don't have it. And y'all stressing her out, trying to make her be something that she's not. We just need to let her be cute and just have some patience. Let her give you a little bit of conversation, but she don't have it to give. And I'm big on letting people operate at their capacity. You know what I mean? And I felt really sad seeing her crying on the show. because on the afterlife, because I feel like that was the only real emotion that we got. And I think it was pure frustration of feeling like y'all are asking her to do something that she don't got. So that's what I would say about her. But, you know, sweet girl, pretty girl.
Oh.
Yeah.
So she ain't got it. That's kind of peak.
She ain't got it.
Damn, that's she ain't got it. That's, you mean you can't tell me nothing about your past? They ain't nothing deep. Hey, I ain't even gonna be mad at you. I ain't gonna hold you. Trey, talk to me.
Yo, I'm sorry, Sean, but no. Nah, bro.
Oh.
The whole time I'm looking at this, I'm looking at Kirsten, and I was thinking of Vince McMahon and the WCW wrestling, his theme song. No chance. No chance in hell. Just no. He won't even be able to sniff a crack of her butt. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. Now, if he was some other dude, yeah, maybe he could have, try to slide on in there. Maybe. But him? Nah. And now it's to the point he knows he's doing too much, but for some reason it seems like he can't stop himself from doing too much. Like bro, you shouldn't be trying to climb that wall. There ain't nothing on the other side of it. Nothing. Yet he's still trying to climb it. Why? Now, if you want to waste your own time, be my guest, bro. Waste your own time. But I think Seaway was right. There's nothing there. She is super surface. Just super surface. I mean, now I have to admit, this was a prime example for her to say something about herself. Because even though I think Shaq you could tell he was getting frustrated. He was like, yo, say something. And I was like, Shaq, you need to calm down. Just let it, calm it down. But you could tell he was getting more and more frustrated with her. But it was a prime example. I'm like, yo, it's one of the situations, I don't want to call it this, but let's just say that is. You tell a lie, then you get caught in your lie. You say there's something more to yourself. Now the opportunity, okay, now it's time to talk about yourself. Now you ain't got nothing to say. Nah, yeah. He need to pack it up and go, but he too prideful not to stop. And Kirsten, yeah, she playing with all of us.
I'm hearing you. Crystal, what you saying?
So y'all know that song, When a Woman's Fed Up, There Ain't Nothing You Can Do About It. This is a case of when a man is fed up. She led with, I don't like your bald head. I don't like your jokes. I don't like the way you chew. So Shaq is now confused. He's like, excuse me. Now you want me in your space. Now you want quality time. So Shaq's like, I ain't playing this game with you. I'm going to go mentor my youth. I'm going to go do the things I like to do. And if she want me, she'll call me. And I was confused. I'm like, well, wait, what's going on here? You want quality time now? And you miss him? And now you want to get to know him? And now you want to take things to the next level? When you led with what you don't like, oh no, only kiss me on the cheek. Oh no, I don't like the way I don't kiss well. It was always excuses. Now Shaq is like, okay, well, you go do your thing. I'll do my thing and I'm going to make myself happy. Now you want him in your space. And she probably is the type, and we were talking about this a couple weeks ago, that when you don't like her, that's when she's interested. But now she wants to make an effort after 2.5 weeks of not making any effort. And he's like, how patient am I going to be? The exact thing that Seaway said, I said it as soon as they were in that plant store. I said, oh, she's just not that deep. But it's not the same as Arris. Arris is not that deep either, but it's a different type of not that deep. They're walking around the plant store, the nursery, and he's talking about the plants, and he's like trying to engage with her, and she just was not engaging right back, or this is a different color. And she was like, wow, he's really interested in this stuff. This is really interesting to him. And so I'm like, well, what are you interested in? Right. I do agree with you, Kojo, when they were blindfolded and they were in the towels. I did say, okay, Shaq, just give her a second to process her thoughts. And he did speak about just a smidge, just a tiny bit too quickly, because I did get the impression she was trying to process and she was going to say something. But I think that he is now fed up. I can't even blame him for saying, okay, we've talked about this before. Like, what do you want to talk about? Like you said, it's not his fault, because the last 2.5 weeks, not only has she not giving him anything in return, but she's kind of put him down. So he's even said, I'm vulnerable about my bald head. You literally picked on the thing that this man is the most vulnerable about. And so now you want to say how much you miss him? Excuse me? So I just feel like this does have a lot to do with Shaq he's not responsive because she hasn't given him the space to be that type of trusted space for her. And now I do want to get into Kirsten, because I do see your point. She has not had the space to be vulnerable, and something Seaway said earlier about maybe she has been so, people look at her as the pretty one that she probably, there's nothing wrong with her. Oh, she's just fine. Oh, so when she has had things wrong or wanting to talk to somebody, they brushed it off. Okay. So she probably has family that has never really thought that, anything's wrong with her. So she hasn't had that trusted space to feel vulnerable and to open up to people. I'll give you that. But at the same time, that's not Shaq's fault. And you led with his flaws. So now he doesn't know that space to make you feel comfortable. On the after party, she started crying, and Keisha and I Pulliam said, now you're going to make me get my pregnant butt up and give you a hug. And she needed that hug. That's true. But I do think her walls, I do think this also, I really started to think about this apartment that is bare walls, bare everything, because she has a fear of being judged. She's like, I don't want to have anything in here that I'm going to either be judged on, or she just wants that clear, the fear of being judged and something else. But I do think all the things that you were talking about at the previous show does have a lot to do about just nothing in her space and so yeah. But no, I call cap on that. And now after 2.5 weeks, you want to turn it around? Nah, sis. He's fed up. That's it for now.
Appreciate it, Kristen. No worries. JR, talk to me. What are you saying?
Good evening, everyone. I think the problem with Kirsten is too little, too late. Like all they have had up to this point is quality time. They've had time to get to know each other. They've had multiple conversations. It hasn't led anywhere, like in the intimacy department. And he can definitely still feel that, there's no attraction there on her part. So now that he is doing his own thing, he's planning, work and other things without her. I think she's probably trying to reel him back in, because she thinks he's trying to, make time for himself, get away. I just think, Kirsten, by now, if you're not feeling him, then, it's over. It's a wrap. Because we know that first impressions last, but 2.5 weeks of waking up with each other, seeing each other, like I said, the conversations that you've been having and everything, if you're still feeling a way about connecting with him fully, then like Seaway said and Crystal said, like she needs to find out what the root cause of that is, and it isn't Shaq's job to be her therapy. I mean, a problem shared is a problem halved. She can talk about it when she's ready to open up, but ultimately, that's not going to lead to her being close to him. She's just going to share her problem. The attraction level is still going to be the same. He's not instantly going to grow the hair that she was looking for. He's not going to change his appearance in any way. By calling out the flaws initially that she saw in him, she automatically put him in a category where it's going to be very difficult for her to be attracted to him. Simple.
Appreciate you. Yes, go for it, Sean. Yeah.
Look, I hear all of that. I heard everybody's gums flapping in the wind. I heard exactly what y'all saying. But all I'm saying is she talked to the friend. And I mean, we can go back to get to the end, right? Because there was a lot that happened in the first part of the episode, and I definitely understand. But towards the end, she had that little FaceTime call with a friend. The friend was like, do some things to get some more intimate time. She seemed genuine. Usually, you know, I don't want to generalize. I don't want to mansplain, but you know, usually girls, you know, women are true when they talk with their girls, right? So she talked to her girls. She's like, this is how it's going. You know, I want to spend a little bit more time with him. And I get it while he's probably avoiding her. But she was like, create a moment, figure out something to do. And she did just that. He came through the door. All you got to say to me is, I'm simple, you know, and most of us men were simple. She said, hello, handsome, hello, good looking, whatever she said. And I want to take care of you. She sprinkled that salt in that foot sauna. Why are we talking? Like, you want to get to know me, I want to get to know you. She want to ask me about me. She don't have an answer. It's okay, baby. You know, I know something I don't know about you. I don't know how them lips feel.
You being toxic right now.
No, I'm not being toxic. Like, listen, she set the mood. It wasn't me. She set the mood.
But
you set the mood. I'm going to follow suit until you tell me that's not what I'm here for. Then we could see how performative it is, right? But I'm going to want to find out, because sometimes, just sometimes, I don't know about with Shaq and Kirsten. I'm saying if it was me, because I want to live vicariously through Shaq in this moment, because I wish she would have done the things for me.
That's what it is.
She did for him. Let me finish, and I got you 5 seconds, Seaway. So all you got to do is let me know what time it is, and I'm going to see what it's going to be. That's all I'm saying. All he had to do was see what it's going to be. And sometimes if she's able to see, okay, he's about it, then that might let another level of a guard down. And it's not that you have to do it, but sometimes you gotta be willing to step back to move forward. And that's all I'm saying. He should have stopped all the talking. Don't press her. Babe, I appreciate everything you did for me. I had a long day. Love on me.
So who wanted to go first to combat what he said?
I'm not even gonna tussle with what Sean is saying. All I'm saying is Sean know that thing thinking, and that's all he see right now. That's it. So I'm not even gonna go toe to toe about what he actually talking about. He just mad that Shaq is fumbling the bag. He would have picked up.
Right.
That's all he's saying.
That's right. I didn't even know what y'all been talking about for the last 3 weeks. And then they were walking through the plant store, and all I was like, oh, I guess her jeans are kind of tight. I didn't even know what y'all were talking about. So that's all he's looking at. That's all. That's it. Shaq, Sean, 2.5 weeks of I wish you weren't bald. I don't like your bald head. Oh, and then last night, oh, but it looks good on you. Oh, I think you are so handsome. What? That girl got Shaq's head like spinning. He's like, don't try to confuse me. Sean,
let me just read out super chats before you go. Let me just read out 2 super chats that we have before you lot going in on these 2. So it says Sean, Arris says, Sean, just say you down and out bad for Kirsten so we can be on our merry way. And there's another one by appreciate the super chat as well. And then Sandra says, seems she's been told to be quiet and sit pretty. Might have been what been said. Okay. So JR, continue. Do you agree with Sean was saying? Or did he fumble the bag or did he not fumble the bag? That's the question we're asking right now. Did he fumble the bag?
Listen, the bag was never there to be fumbled in the first place. All right. Let's be real, man. It would just end up in another rejection on TV for Shaq. Like, he hasn't even kissed her yet. They haven't even kissed. So this notion that the foot rub's going to lead to anything, or it ain't going to go nowhere. All right? She's not feeling him like that. By now, 2.5 weeks in, and you have not even kissed your husband on the lips, like passionately. Come on, like, nothing's going to change it. And I think, when he said a few weeks ago that she's playing up for the cameras, this was it. This was her, hello, handsome, and all that. That was just for the cameras, man. That's just to make it, to soothe the pain of feeling like she's going to be a villain because she doesn't like him. All right. In a way, it is an attempt to try and inflate his ego somewhat. But he's like, well, 2.5 weeks, we haven't even kissed. None of this is going to happen. None of this is real. And also, the conversation piece seems to be what she enjoys the most, because that's all they're doing. It shouldn't feel like repulsive to hold your man's hand and kiss him and all that other stuff. Like, if you're really feeling him, she ain't. It doesn't matter how many times they do the spa treatment or if they do couple massages or whatever else. By this stage, you spent enough time with each other, gone to sleep with each other, woken up with each other, done activities with each other. And that level of intimacy and connection has not happened. And as for the conversation with her friend, I thought she seemed quite surprised by what the friend had to say. She was it wasn't like she was like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna go do that. It didn't put a bee in her bonnet at all. It was actually like, oh really, that's what you think I should do? Oh, okay. It was more like that type of energy. So I appreciate Sean's opinion, but I beg to differ. There's nothing that my boy Shaq can do to win her over. It's a done deal.
So let me just say this. I just think there's opportunity for Shaq to better engage with women, because he fumbled it with the massage with too much talking. Then when they went plant shopping, he decided to be, Mr. Green Thumb, Mr. Herbivore, and he's going to sit and give her a lecture about this plant and that plant. And no, we got to get this one. Oh, no, I want that one. No, I want this one. Why are we tussling? He has more plants than a little bit at his one apartment, right? Already. She's expressing a minimal interest in getting plants. I ain't fitting to tussle with you about what plant. Oh, you want that? I want this. No, this one. They all look green to me, and I get it. That's his passion. But at a certain point, you have to know when to judge situations, right? So if you're trying to make an effort with this person and you're getting minimal things, and then they give you a little leeway, it's simple. Just, okay, let me stop being the plant teacher. And okay, she's expressed, let's go and get this plant and we'll take care of this plant together. This is, since you've never really done it, let's do this one together. That's it. All right, babe, let's go home. On to the next thing. Everything doesn't have to be a push and pull, and I got to teach you about plants. It's a plant. That's all I'm saying. The brother has to know when to judge certain situations. And it just became draining because it's so much. When you're always fighting about everything or always having a difference of opinion, it makes making those inroads very, very difficult. So that's all I'm saying. From the plant to the massage, go with the flow. Sometimes you just got to lean back and see and try a different course of action.
If I may, the reason why I like Married at First Sight, because you really are able to see two sides to the multiple sides to every story if you look hard enough. What I will say is everybody right, everybody wrong. What we're right about is the fact that, you know, Kirsten is not opening up, and, you know, if she ain't gave that man no play on the 27 days someone said in the house that they've been one-on-one, that little performative massage was not going to be the you know, the thing that changed everything, right? I think that's what we're right about. But what I think SHAWN is right about is that there's a lot of stuff in the water that's not clean with Shaq, and the way he deals with her, the way he talks too much, the way he tries to be her sensei and mentor all the time in every scene. I think that's unattractive. I do agree. I don't think he takes a lot of his shots, maybe because he's been shot down for 27 days, maybe because the situation is just a look for him. And maybe it's both. I personally believe that this whole situation for Shaq feels like a good look that went wrong. I think he got matched with someone who looks good, but is giving him no play, and it's not working out for him. Because we haven't got to the job situation yet, but that's definitely giving Mike from the DC season. This whole I was employed and then I'm not anymore. We got to get into that because that goes to his character. That's very odd. And then all of these mentees he got. I'm not trying to judge, but why are you walking around with a whole bunch of young men? It's a lot of weird stuff going on when it comes to him. So we can call Kirsten out, whatever. But there's a lot of stuff off with him too. It may be affecting the way she interacts with him. That's all I'm saying. Y'all can leave that alone.
I'm with you. I'm with you on the mentees because I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Jojo, who do you know? Who do you know that unless you're working at like a YMCA, or unless you're a basketball coach, football coach, you know, why are you walking around with a whole bunch of young boys? And why are those the people that you chose to bring on this show? To me, that's a little weird. Out of all the people in your life you could have bring. And then one of them is asking where she got her bundles from.
Wait, he didn't say that word.
He said, "Who you heard just or something?" I said, "Oh boy, trying to move up on your professor's chick." That's what's happening right now, man.
I'm just saying we got to read in between the lines. I'm not saying she ain't got what she got to her. She got stuff to her for sure. You know, a lot of times when you're really cute, like, you know, Sandria said in the chat, a lot of times you're not forced to have a personality. No one asks you for your opinion, you know, like you're not required to be that deep, you know, so maybe there's a lot of emptiness there. But what he got going on? And that job situation, I want the men to comment on that because I need y'all to call out how ridiculous that was. Well, I'll wait for y'all opinion.
I don't know what his job is officially. I just know that he works in a school or whatever, or academically. So I think it's a little bit weird that he brought them on the show. Not necessarily weird that he brought them to the house, because I think if you're like really invested in your students, sometimes, you know, you have that kind of situation. I do get in 2023 how it could be looking a little bit suspect. I do get that, but I think. I do understand that obviously when you're really invested in your job and, you know, you're really close to your mentees, you know, this could be a little thing that, you know, you spend a lot more time outside of the necessarily the campus or whatever, and you spend time elsewhere. But I do understand how it could look a little some way, you know what I mean? Now, I don't think these kids wanted to be there. Can I be honest with you? I don't think these kids wanted to really be there on screen talking to the professor. And I'm just going to say this from my personal opinion. Yeah, I'm not saying he is anything. I'm just saying that first and foremost, Kirsten don't want to say it, right? But she's having the same issue that Karen had with Miles. And funny enough, Miles and Shaq be working in the close quarters when it comes to their job style. Okay, but she had an issue when she said, all right then, what did she say? All right then, what is the actual wording she used? She used a wording like either missy or lady or something like that, whatever. She was saying something after the plant situation. I said, oh, she trying to let him know that he's a little bit, he ain't quote unquote masculine enough for her. Do you know what I mean? Because she said it as a passing comment, but I was like, she's saying it in a particular way that's trying to say that you ain't masculine enough for her. I think that's also playing in, because what I'm just gonna say this: what brother comes to sit down and does? I said, "What's going on, sir?" Y'all didn't see that in the scene where they're kind of like, it's the way he's sitting. I'm just I didn't.
When they packed on the couch. You talking about when they packed on that couch?
Yeah, when the boys are sitting down, when he comes to sit down next to Karen, it's the way his hands come. It comes like, and I'm like, ooh, what's going on, Cass? I said, unfold your arms quickly, please, sir. It's looking a little bit, it's looking a little bit woo. And then when he said his insecurity,
they keep saying that the mentees are grown, like that makes it better. That makes it worse. Well, it don't make it worse.
No,
it makes it weirder. It makes it weird in a different way.
With you,
no, there's some people who are like, it's grown. That's weird. But there's some people like, it's grown. They're not kids. It's like, no, we all know they're not kids. So why is he running around? I'm not talking to the people who get it. They get it.
Depends though, innit? Depends, innit? Because if he's got like a job that they're trying to go into, sometimes the mentees do kind of spend a bit more time with a mentor if they're going into a particular job frame. Sometimes they do that, where they spend time outside of, like I said, campus or work frame. So sometimes it does happen. But no, I'm just saying, I think maybe, just that part. And then when he said about his insecurities, about not knowing who he was, it was giving me a little bit like, sir, I don't want to think it. I don't want to think it. And again, I'm not saying he actually is. I'm just saying that, for people who, traditionally like a particular male in a particular way, that can make someone feel like, you're a little bit too fruity for me. You know what I mean? And that may turn her off a little bit as well. I'm not saying that she fancied him in the first place, because she didn't. Because she ain't like his little bar lead. So that ain't going to change nothing. But I'm just saying that this, and then the plant thing, and then her saying about the fact that he ain't, and then I don't know how I'm feeling about myself. I said, it's just giving me a little bit of pause. And I'm not saying he's anything else. I'm just saying it may be taken in a particular way. That's what I'm saying. Okay. So I don't know if anyone else wants to add before I ask the appropriate question. Who's opening mic? Go for it, Trey.
Boy, we beat me on the bush on this one. I ain't gonna lie. I had questions. I just had questions. Because my first question was, wait, how late is he staying out? That's what caught my eye first. Like, how late is he staying out? What is late?
Bro, that's a question.
What is late? Because everybody get off 4, 5. If he's getting in 6, 7, that's not really late. He's just staying out, hanging out with these little mentees. You talking 8, 9? What's going on? That's what what's going on here. I just had questions, but I did thought it was a little weird that they brought him over first of all, and I caught the fact that I think the reason why he brought him over because he wanted to show Kirsten off. He wanted to show her off because they were all presently surprised when they saw her. He was like, "Oh snap! Professor got a baddie." That's all their faces gave. Every last one of them. Professor got a baddie. And then they sat down and talked to her. Ain't much with this baddie. ain't much there. But he got a baddie though. That's all that matters. I saw what you talking about, Kojo. Well, when Shaq sat down, he was sitting a little. But why you sitting like this? You looking weird right now. It was looking weird. But we're just gonna say the word. It was said in the chat earlier. We're just gonna say the word. Shaq is metrosexual. That's what he is. I don't think he's gay. He's just metrosexual.
I'm gonna ask, did anybody see that movie Honk for Jesus?
I just be seeing it on the t-shirt.
Yeah, no, I saw the movie.
So Honk for Jesus came out. Sterling K. Brown is the lead actor in the movie. Regina Hall, who is fine, by the way, was his wife. And it was loosely based on, the pastor being in love with his wife, quote unquote, but mentoring young men in the church.
Like Bishop Eddie?
It's loosely based on Bishop Eddie Long. But these
dude from Atlanta
in the church were young teens, like I'm going to say 10 to 16, but these kids were 21 to 20.
Listen, I don't mean to be literal. I mean, it's not line for line. I'm just talking about thematically.
You know, people gonna take it to the
it's like we ain't got to. Come on now, Crystal. Come on now.
Listen,
we ain't talking about the plot is the same plot. The writers are the same writers. Take the theme of the movie, and we can cut and splice it and apply it to the same folks we talk about right now. Okay.
So these are my questions. So I got questions, just like Trey just said. When he say you're staying out late, I'm like, and he's doing these events for his college, for what this mentoring events. Why aren't you going to, if you want to spend so much time with your man, why aren't you going to these events and joining him at these events? And why aren't you being that he said he wants that lady on his arm? Why aren't you being that lady on his arm? That's one of the questions. Just pulled it up. He's the executive director of enrollment services at Tennessee State University. And these guys they were absolutely, none of them were 19. They were, I'm gonna say 21 to 24. And if these guys were, trying to progress into college, just like Kojo said, he calls them mentees, but they could be going into a specific career, and he's calling them mentees, but that's not what it is. So, or that is what it is. So I hear what you're saying, but it is, I don't think that that's what it is. I just don't think that that's what it is. But why is she not joining him? I got the impression, since she want to spend so much time with her man and she's changing this around, did she ask him, well, let me meet your mentees? Let me do this extra thing. Because since this whole episode was her trying to go these extra miles that she hasn't been going in 3 weeks. So I got the impression that she's the one that called this little meeting, but I could be wrong. But even if he was the one that wanted to show off his bad wife, I didn't get the impression that there was something extra going on like that. I just didn't. I have seen Hung for Jesus. So I
don't think we think there's something going on necessarily with the mentees. I mean, I just think the mentees and the way they were all packed on the couch just adds to the overall aesthetic of there being a problem there. I will say, when people are running these streets at night, I am pretty positive that Kirsten is not invited. I don't want to say for sure, but I'm sure if she's saying, can you please come home, or can you do X, Y, and Z? She's not invited. He doesn't want her there.
You just said that that's all cap. You know that this man, she ain't saying, can you please? She ain't saying any of that.
No, I'm not saying whether she is or if she ain't. I'm saying if she is, she ain't invited. I'm not sure what that lady is doing.
I will agree with you. I was like, why don't y'all sit somewhere else? Like, I'm sure there's a beanbag somewhere. Like, y'all all packed, all four of these big ass men packed on that little bitty love seat. I will agree with you on that. That was looking awkward.
And before I forget, because Nina asked me to bring something up, and I don't want to forget. She wanted me to bring up about how he said that the only time that he was in love was one time, and when that person let him be him. I don't know why Nina wanted me to bring this up, but
you are completely out of order and messy. Plank.
You out of order. Exactly why you for that.
Be stricken from the record.
Yep.
But all I want to know is what was that person letting him be about him? I don't know. This is tough, guys. This is tough. This is a tough situation for all of us, honestly.
It could be that person was making him feel wanted, right? Because that's something that she isn't doing. So I don't see why he would want to come home, because she's not feeling him. What are they going to do? Have more dry conversation? That ain't going nowhere. We already established that she doesn't have much going on. She's quite, I won't say shallow, but there's not much character. There's not much depth in there. It's like she just got a whole list of requirements, but nothing else. So, like, yeah, after 2.5 weeks of spending quality time, going to Jamaica on honeymoon, coming back, spending time in an apartment together, It ain't going nowhere. So what's he supposed to do? Like, not go and carry on with his career, not go back to work, not make up for the lost time that he spent away from doing what he's doing, to spend time with her, to get to know her, only for it to not be going anywhere. Like, you know what? There's no one that's going to keep doing that. Yeah. What I rate him for is, very early he said, listen, if we don't connect, and we, you know, not necessarily intimate, but if we don't connect in a way where it feels like this is going to work, then I hope you know it's going to be a non-decision day. And so that's given her a deadline. That should have the clock ticking in her mind, knowing that decision day is coming now. Yeah, you've already not kissed on your wedding day. You ain't had no kiss or anything on your honeymoon. You ain't kissed on when you've returned and you spent time together in your apartment. All the dates you've been on, you haven't kissed. What is he coming home for? I would go out to work as well. I would. Like, at least I'm getting paid and I'm getting some satisfaction from seeing my students graduate and you know, become something. Like, they need me out there, like as a mentor or as an inspiration or as the hookup in the admin department or whatever he does. But at home, how does she really need him? How does she really show that she's attracted to him? How does she reinforce that this connection that, you know, is meant to be because they've been put together? How is he being reassured that it's going to go past decision day at this point? Because she's not doing none of that. She's not feeling him. That's it.
Look, you know, I've had my times when I've been obsessed with my job and I've loved my work, but ain't no way I'm bringing my work home with me after a full long day. I'm sorry. You know, I'm sorry. And I think that, you know, as much as we can see that Kirsten is not attracted to him, he has to own some part of it for himself, right? And you diving yourself into work because you feel like the person that you're with doesn't want you doesn't solve the issue. You still need to come home and you need to either confront it, have those conversations, or say, hey, listen, are we gonna make today our decision day? You know, because I'm sorry, I'm not going to be bringing a bunch of teenage boys home with me, and I done spent 9, 10, 12 hours in the field with them all day. I'm sorry, just because my wife seems disinterested. What are you going to do? Marriage takes work, and at the very site, they've only been together a few weeks. So if you don't like me in a few weeks or we're having challenges, that's what Married at First Sight is about. I mean, yes, I did a lot of playing about what we can push and what we can see what's going to happen. I would definitely try because, listen, I'm going to try. I ain't going to leave here with nothing. You know, we going you give me an inch, I'm going to take 1.5 miles and see what we can do. So I would come home, and those who know me, I'm a confrontational person. Now, I can be confrontational good and I can be confrontational not so good. So I would start at the not so good and, you know, at the good rather. And let's just talk about this. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm feeling. Like, you know, let's talk through it. And if we're going to figure it out, we can figure it out early like Dom and Mac did and call today our decision day because I don't want to waste time. So that's all I'm saying. And then, so if he's so disinterested in running away from his job, right, and using his job as a way to have peace and self-satisfaction, why didn't he take the job that got him a big offer out of state? If that's the case, if that's what he was doing, then he would have taken that job out of state. I don't think he's doing that. I think he doesn't have relational skills. Mm-hmm. I think that he struggles in how to deal in relationships. And that is a part of it. Now, Kirsten, heightens it because she is not interested in him. But we cannot ignore the fact that he does not have good relationship skills. We can't glaze over that. And again, I told you guys last time, what the lesson I learned with the whole Zach and Michaela thing is when you hyper focus on one person because they have the glaring issue, you miss the other opportunity. And as much as Kirsten has her fair share of opportunities, so does Shaq. You know, his communication, piss poor. Because why wouldn't he have that conversation with his wife? Like, hey, listen, I got this opportunity. That could at the very least move the needle. Like, hey, listen, I'm getting 0 from you right now. So I got a job opportunity out of state. You know, now I would love it if you and I could make this thing a go, but I don't feel like there's nothing here for me. Should I go with my career? What do you think? How do you feel? Let's talk about this. That opens the door for an expanded conversation on where they are. But he avoided it, didn't have the conversation, made a decision that he thought would be the best for the both of them, just like he did with the conference, didn't include her, and then wants to come off like the hero in the end. And that's wrong.
Yep. Wait, before you go, we'll just got some super chats that people put up through, and then we can discuss about that question, because that question we're going to ask is around why he didn't tell Kirsten about the job offer, because that is an important part of conversation that's coming up as well. So we're going to let you guys have your say. I probably need to slow down the chat. The chat is on fire. It is speedy up in here. Audience is obviously involved and waiting to talk. Okay, so we have a super chat here from AAB. Says last person I've seen with mentees like that was shit a little. Oh my god, I knew I should know. I'll take that off straight away. I didn't read that before I said that. Listen, guys, keep your super chats coming. Every super chat you bring up, we'll bring up onto the screen. And we'll read out your super chats as well. We're going to ask a question now, obviously, still around Shaq and around Kirsten. We're asking the question now around, obviously, the situation where he did not, obviously, say to Kirsten that he had a job offer. His reasoning being because he wanted to be a man and show that he could take a decision, and he's meant to be here. I mean, I thought it was foolish, to be honest. But I'm sure you guys will have your own kind of say. One more super chat we had. Empress Horton says, "How she ain't kiss him yet? You can kiss strangers." I definitely hear that. I'm trying to kiss some strangers out here. You know what I'm saying? I hear you too. I'm changed now. I'm changed, man. All right, cool. So asking that question now. What did you guys garnish? What did you guys understand about the Kirsten and the Shaq situation where he didn't tell Kirsten about this job that he got and handled it like he was Olivia Pope? JR, I saw you go to your mic, so I'll let you go first and you can answer the question.
Yeah, listen, man, I think it was a sacrifice in order to see if there was a connection there, if the marriage was going to work. It may not have been something he brought up at the time, because he basically said, I'm in the show, just thinking out loud. I'm in the show. I'm in this process. I need to get to know this girl. This is going to be my wife. You know, I can apply for another job another time. Let's give this a shot right now. But now it's failing. All right. The conversations that Sean's saying that he should have, they've already had it. She made excuses every single time. Every single time there was an excuse, a different one at that. So rather than hear another catalog of excuses, listen, he's now saying it's time for me to, go back to the things maybe that I sacrificed in error. Because what am I getting out of it? Like, I don't want to just hold your hand. You're husband and wife now. Like, okay, you may not be feeling me at the start. I've accommodated for that and tried to be lenient. I haven't put any pressure on. I haven't pursued you in a way where you'd feel uncomfortable. We've talked. You didn't like my sense of humor when I tried to make you laugh. You said you're not a good kisser, which is why you don't want to kiss. You know, all these different excuses. So now I think he's probably just seeing that, the light of day now. Okay, look, I need to think about work. I need to think about after the show. I need to get my money up again. Look at, other things that I could have been doing instead of coming on the show and not finding the person that I thought I had. That's my take.
Hey, before anyone goes next, I just literally watched it behind the scene. Yeah, I just need you to watch this, because when he says about the job situation, I need you to pay attention to one of the kids. One of the kids that's actually, he responds with a facial expression is telling you all you need to know. That I didn't see it the first time I watched it, but when you watch it the second time around, I was like, they're looking at it like, this doesn't feel, this don't sound right. Yeah, I'm gonna play it for you guys. Let me get it up for you on the screen now. Okay, let's go back 10 seconds. Okay, cool. There we go. Hopefully my internet don't start playing out like a bullshit, baby. Oh, my internet gonna be playing up. Okay, cool.
By myself, like I was offered a job out of state, kind of far away, and it's a big role, and I said no.
Wow.
In that moment, I made a decision to consult with her because I knew if I would have brought it to the table.
Nigga, what? The kid's like, wait, hold on. What you talking about? What? Wait, what are you actually talking about? Like, what you mean? His head is doing all of this. I said, yeah. I think they kind of saw something wasn't quite right. You know, just saying. Trey, I haven't heard you for a little while. Talk to me.
Man, when I saw the same thing you did. I saw that kid. He went, wait, what? Wait, are y'all hearing this? Okay, all right. But when he said this, 3 things came to mind. First, I was like, oh no, bro, why are you sacrificing something for a relationship when it is obvious you will not get that same sacrifice in return? Because usually in relationships, when you're sacrificing, it should be beneficial to both sides. Number 2, you didn't talk to her about it. That's just wrong. It's just wrong. Like, flat out, just wrong. This should have been discussed with her, which leads me to my next point. And okay. I saw a side of Shaq. Yeah, we got to talk about this. First of all, I really think the reason why he didn't take that job was because he didn't want it in the first place. So it was a okay sacrifice. Number 2, he used it as a manipulative. He used it to manipulate Kirsten in this moment. He used it. And that's what bothered me the most. I was like, well, okay. He tried to guilt trip her into feeling bad that I'm sacrificing all this for you and for us. What are you doing? And Kirsten called it. She ain't a stupid girl. She called it because you saw it on her face. She was like, wait, job? Oh, wait a minute. And that put her in a position where she had to answer the question in front of his mentees or whatever. Now she on the spot. I was like, yo, he is really trying to manipulate this situation for his own benefit. That's a different side of him. That's not good. Wow, bro. Wow. Now we need to throw you away. I thought maybe there's some salvageable moments for him. Maybe. Even though we had questions. There's a lot of questions. But I thought he was salvageable. Now I'm like, dumpster fire, both of them. Throw them away, throw the match. Get it over with. Tired of looking at it. I'm just tired of looking at it. Like, but yeah, that really bothered me when I heard that. I was like, what? If I was your homeboy, I'm like, bro, is you stupid? Is you dumb? What are you doing? You know, what are you doing? And I've been married before, so I'm looking at him like, so wait a minute, you made this whole decision without talking to your woman? First, you know she gonna be upset. That's and she should be upset. I'm surprised Kirsten didn't pop off at him immediately. Because she probably should have. That's ridiculous. You know, but it just goes to the end. I'm like, yeah, he used that as a manipulative tactic. You know what I'm saying? To make her feel bad that he's been putting forth all this effort in their relationship, and she's virtually been putting in none, which is true. I'm sorry, that's how I see it. She hasn't put in anything. She don't care about him. It's point blank period. She don't care about him. All this is all fake. It's ridiculous. It's all fake. But I do think it's wrong that he's trying to manipulate this situation to make himself look better when he really don't have to. That's the crazy thing about it. He really don't have to. She's doing it by herself. But now he's going the extra mile. Yeah. Prayer works. We need to start praying out here.
Are we convinced that he even has a job? I just feel
Oh gosh.
I just feel like you guys are giving him a lot of credit with this situation that a job ever exists. Like we haven't seen on multiple occasions people making this type of stuff up. I'm not saying it's impossible that he had a job and turned it down, but if he did have a job, and that's a big if, I'm not convinced he had a job. Then the reason.
Oh, you mean the job offer?
I don't believe he had a job.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant like a job in general. Sorry, I thought you meant a job in general.
I know he has a job.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. I'm not convinced that he ever had a job offer. And if he did, the mentees know exactly why he turned it down, and it had nothing to do with her. So there's only two possible reasons for that face. Either he never had a job offer out of state, or the job was turned down for something that had nothing to do with Kirsten. That's the only thing I get from that particular scene. I was going to go do this whole thing about how when you first get married, some of the biggest issues is learning how not to operate as a single person, but how to operate with the consideration of others. I was going to go down that path because I think that is something that when you're newly married, that's one of the hardest things to get used to, especially for men. If they're used to operating one way, I think sometimes it's hard to operate now considering another person. It takes time. But I'm not even going to waste that on these two because I don't even think that's what happened. I think he's just making up stuff to get back at her or get attention from her because, as JR said, she don't want him. He knows that. And so now he's trying to get attention. This is all attention seeking to me. So that's all I get from this.
I agree. He definitely should have talked to her about it before just up and making this decision. I don't know at what it seems like he got this job offer. If he got this job offer at the beginning of the whatever, when he first found out that he was either being matched or whatever in the beginning of the honeymoon, before he realized that she wasn't gonna like his bald head and before he realized, oh, I'm not getting any play. So but I do think, as Trey was just saying, if you weren't going to tell him about it, and if you were just going to make this decision on your own, why say anything at all? So you did that. So why even bring it up now? You did that under the guise of trying to be a mentor to these guys right now. But that's not why you said this right now in front of her. And she's like, wow, just now that she's turning a new leaf, and you sitting there with these guys and you're trying to prove something to them. And, sometimes you got to make sacrifices, boys. So that's not why you did that. If you wanted to make this sacrifice for your marriage and you made this decision on your own without discussing it with your wife, why even tell her at all? Why even speak up at all? So there was something else going on there. That was not the reason why he gave up. Let's say it is. Let's say that this is the reason why you gave up, because you wanted to devote this time to your wife. And now the look on these guys' faces, like, wait a minute, you just met this girl. Why would you do that? You don't even know her. And you're giving up this a job opportunity. And also, I also thought, oh, Coach so-and-so or whatever, he's leaving us. Like, he was going to leave us. So I think there was something else going on there. But yeah.
Crystal, sounds like you coming over to our side over here.
No.
I'm starting to see some of the things that Shaq could do better.
Well, Shaq could do a lot of things better, but I think that she's
That's
She's-
it. That's
she's-
it.
okay.
We don't need you to elaborate. That's
No
all we
further-
wanted you to
no
hear
further
because
questions. I
you
said
were
your
dyed
voice
in
is
the
low.
wool. You were dyed in the wool. You all in the bottom three down there were dyed in the wool for sure.
Sean did have a good point. Sean had a great point when you said earlier, Shaq does not know how to talk to women, period. And it's obvious.
Kristen knows how to communicate either, though.
But we're gonna get to Kirsten. But Shaq by himself, if Kirsten was not there, if it was another woman, I think he would have issues communicating.
Yeah, he would just be moving like.
Yeah, even though he's a communicator, which is crazy because he talk a lot, but he doesn't. You know, that's interesting. That's what it is. He talks a lot, but he's not a communicator. He talks a lot at you, but doesn't listen to what you're trying to say to him back. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, even if it wasn't Kirsten, you would see issues with Shaq of how he communicates things. Because I think somebody said earlier, he's always trying to teach something to somebody. You know what I'm saying? He's always trying to provocate to you all the time. Like, no, you don't do that. You know, it's a back and forth thing when you're communicating with someone. You hear, you listen. You know what I'm saying? You're not teaching them. He's always trying to teach somebody something, even about the plants. He was just going on and on. I'm like, bro, she don't care. The plant looks scary to her. That's all she cared about. That was it. You know, like Kirsten, yeah, that's a whole different bag of tricks. I'm more interested in the ex relationship. Who's this dude? And she said she was with him for how many years? So, it was a while. A good long while.
I thought you were talking about Shaq's dude. I'm like, wait, he said it was the dude? I didn't even hear him say that.
I'll see what. Oh God. You know what? I will say now. I hate to say this.
Order in the court.
I hate to say this. It was funny when it was wearing the blindfolds, talking and whatnot, and he said he was in love only one time before or something. He purposely said, "Yeah, someone showed me or someone cared for me." He never specifically said another. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna just leave that right.
Yeah,
no, you're right. You're right. Wait, before we go to it, Jail's gonna go. Hold on, before we go to it, Jail.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if she does have, lingering feelings for an ex, whether it's feelings of hurt or feelings of, why didn't it work out or whatever that is, it doesn't matter what Shaq does. Like, she's not over that particular trauma or issue that she went through, and Shaq, the only way he's going to get better at communicating with women is if he actually has a woman to communicate with. And we've seen them do lots of talking. So the issue, I don't think she's ever said, I don't like speaking to you. Like, she seems to enjoy speaking to him. That's why now that he's trying to make himself busy so that he doesn't have enough time to sit down and chat with her anymore, she feels like she needs to reel him back in. She feels like he's pulling away. He doesn't strike me as a ladies' man. He doesn't strike me as someone that goes to the bar and hits on lots of women. He doesn't strike me as any of that. Like, he pretty much seems like he just works. And he's in his capacity of employment. He is teaching. He is lecturing. He's educating. Like, he works at university. So I think he may be guilty of bringing his his work self back home, and is not able to switch, like code switching in a way, where you go out to work in your certain way at work, and when you come home, you have to be able to switch back to being your normal self. I think he may be guilty of that, which is why, he goes into all these education type conversations with her about plants and all this other stuff. We know she don't care about horticulture. She don't care about grass. She don't care about flowers. None of that stuff. She doesn't care about him taking this job in particular because she doesn't care about him to that extent. She doesn't feel him. Like, there's a level of, like, you start to care more for the person when you are intimate with them, when you are attracted to them. Man, they could breathe wrong and it will tick you off. right? They could say something out of context and it will tick you off. She is not at that level because she hasn't invested anything in him yet. She's still holding back. These walls are still up. So she's not investing, she's not committing anywhere near as much as he is at this point. And that's why I agree with Trey's point. There may have been an element of manipulation with bringing up the job at that particular time. Because, look, he sat down, spoken to her, he's asked her what her likes are and dislikes. Okay, you don't like certain things. I'm going to work with you and be patient and see if we can still make something grow. It's not working though, all right? So again, there's nothing he can do at this point. It doesn't matter how he speaks to her. That he's been gentlemanly by all stretches of the imagination. He hasn't said anything toxic or aggressive or angry or dismissive or condescending. We haven't seen any of those negative words being said by him to her. But there comes a time where eventually the penny drops and you're like, okay, we've probably got like 2 weeks left and we ain't done anything. So the reality is I'm going to have to go back to work now. The opportunity that I may have put on the back burner for the sake of this show and this relationship, man, I'm going to have to see if I can at least find something equivalent because, you know, I took a gamble. It didn't work.
Mm-hmm. Before you go, oh yeah, go for it. Go for it, Sean. And I'll read the super chat. Go for it.
Yeah, no, I just think that you should be yourself, right? Whoever your authentic self is, you should be that, right? So I'm never from the school of thought, just like we say when women say, oh, when I find a man that makes me feel comfortable to be feminine, then I'll come out of my masculine. You should be who you are. And my feedback and what the point I'm trying to drive across is, I don't care how Kirsten is treating Shaq, right? I'm not saying he should, tell her how beautiful she is 24/7. I'm saying he should be himself. Now, if you're in this situation, which is an experiment, right? And it's an experiment for people who haven't had success in the real world, in their own lives, doing it their own way and getting married. So they come to this show and they take a risk. So when you take a risk, you have to be willing to come out of your comfort zone, right? And if there's certain things that are innate to you, like if you know how to relate with women and vice versa, on the other hand, for women to men, there are certain tactics and things that you're going to try before you give up. And what I see is him having poor skills when it comes to relationships. Despite how Kirsten is treating him, there's things that as a bar and as a level, he as a man should be coming to the table with, and how he should treat his wife, how he should engage her in communication, how he should be the one to flesh certain things out. If he's not getting what he wants, if there's inconsistencies, then he should be addressing them. He should be talking about them. If there is a job opportunity that's going to be for the betterment of them, he should talk about it, right? Now, he could say, hey, listen, I'm willing to forfeit this job offer, but I want to talk to, because this is something that could be for the betterment of us. Let's have a different conversation. Yeah, I just think not hiding in your job, not coming home and treating people like you treat your students or the people that you're at work with. For me, that's poor relationship skills. We say the same thing for Gina, when all it is the salon, so the salon. It's boring. It's tiresome. It's draining. So I'm saying for him to her, despite what Kirsten is doing, what Shaq needs to do is be better at his interactions, be better at his skills, be better at romance with Kirsten, right? She gave him an inch into a little bit of romance. And this happens in relationships, and these things really do play out this way when, a spouse may have a slight moment. We may be fighting, we may be feuding, but we get a slight moment. And sometimes when we don't turn that corner the right way, it can set the trajectory, right? So sometimes you get a slight moment, especially when you two are just getting to know each other. And maybe, just maybe, there was a slight moment where she said maybe. and you have to learn how to roll with the punches. And I don't think he's adaptable. I think he just does what he wants to do, does what he's used to doing, and that does not bode well in any relationship, whether the person is head over heels in love with you or they don't like you.
Okay, yeah, I'm hearing you. Y'all coming in strong with this topic out here. I'm glad we started with this one because we came with all energy, different size and different points. I ain't mad at it, you know. I personally do think, like, you know, I think there could be some things that can be worked on from Shaq's perspective, but that could be my biased point of view, because, you know, I think part of Shaq's energy is it feels like Shaq carries just a little bit of feminine energy, and that can also be a turn off for the woman who also wants to be in her feminine. But saying that, she's also got walls up, so she's kind of that masculine energy too, you know. And when they're inversed in polar opposites, sometimes you do a dance that's not really the dance that you actually want to do. That's going to make you guys come together. It actually draws you away from each other. You repel one another. So yeah, I mean, I think with Shaq, I'm so surprised that he didn't tell her about the job. I do agree with you guys. I do think it's a little bit manipulative. And I also think as well that even if you felt like you were going to take the job or not take the job, even if it was going to be, look, I'm going to discuss it with you, but I've made my mind up because you know what? I know this marriage ain't going nowhere. I can go, okay, cool. Well, he's ended the marriage. So he's going to his job. He's going to take the job. He's going to go elsewhere. Or at least if he said, I'm not taking a job, discussing it with her would have been important. But blindsiding her in front of the mentees was a bit like, I'm trying to show off a little bit. And what it was more like, because the question was asked obviously about sacrifice, I don't know. I'm in two minds. I'm wondering if production knew about this. This means it could be actual job offer that he actually did have. And obviously the sacrifice part, the question that's asked about what you guys sacrificed, and he says a job, it's kind of like what we call a grand gesture. So it can be looked at as manipulation. You know, it's a grand gesture to kind of show you that I do care about you, but really and truly, it doesn't always correlate with the person actually being genuine in their pursuit of you. It's a way to kind of open the doors and to get you on side. But I think in that moment when he did say it, just by looking at the reactions of the kids, you know, looking at the reaction even of Kirsten, she was like, what? Like she was blindsided. She didn't even know, you know? So I think this should have been discussed beforehand. It's weird that he just said it was like, you know, it's a man thing to do, like to just take the decision and sacrifice for that moment. I do feel like maybe, again, okay, so if we would say that he's more metro, you know, I think I would say it's because I think did he grow up around his mom? I think he grew up around his mom, right? I don't think he grew up around his dad per se. He grew up around his mom, so maybe that's why some of the body language and mannerisms, he's obviously kind of like you observe, innit? So you know what I mean? So maybe that's why some of the energy and the way he maneuvers and the way he talks about things and what he likes and stuff like that can be considered more feminine because he's had to grow up around the feminine energy. Do you know what I mean? That could be a potential reason why as well in that aspect. So rather than going the opposite end, because some people go the opposite way and they can go real hardcore masculine, he's kind of flowed with the feminine. That's fair. I'm not gonna shoot him down to shoot him down in that particular instance, but I do think that not telling your wife about the job is telling me that you don't have very good relational skills, but also as well that it's a bit sneaky. Why didn't you want to take the job? You know, it was bigger, it was bolder, it was better. Why didn't you want to take the job then? You didn't really give us, oh, it's like, because I wanted to be in this marriage. Shaq, really? She ain't giving you nothing. You really want to stay in this marriage? Really? That's why you don't take the job? So yeah, definitely hear that. All right, let's shift it because we've been really good and we've actually killed that subject and I love it, man. You know what I mean? That's going to be its own. It could be its own live on itself by the time we finish. Let's talk about another couple. Let's start strong again. Let's keep it Arris and Jasmine. You know, I usually like to keep it to the end, but I know we get tired at the end, so we're going to keep it strong. Arris and Jasmine. Let's talk about these two because today Arris out here. Listen, I know you don't like this woman, but goddamn. You are coming off looking like an absolute prick if you don't realize what you're doing. The sex talk was mad. It just didn't make sense, bro. It's like, bro, you out here telling me just because you had a little gangbang, you wanna talk about someone else because they haven't cheated, they haven't had a gangbang, they haven't done this. bro, you have to know she hasn't had sex before. She's, you know what I mean? Like the way he reacted was wild to me. And I think he didn't even see, bro, the way you're describing your experiences, it sounds very toxic. I don't think the way you're reacting to your wife, it sounds kind of toxic. You know, the way that you have a relationship with sex. I was like, bro, you know, it's like you're turned off because she hasn't done all the wild things you've done. I'm like, bro, half the goons in this world ain't done half things you done, bro. You know, you a special case. You know, at this point, you a special case, and you're giving me vibes of not dealing with your emotions very well. So you use sex as a way to communicate, and that's the way you go about things. So, you know, looking at your wife as a weird one, I'm looking at you like a weird one. You know, but yeah, what was you guys' thoughts with the Arris and Jasmine situation? What was our thoughts on this particular instance? Arris and Jasmine, what was your guys' thoughts on this? Huh?
I've got to agree with you, Kojo, man. It seems like he uses sex as a way to mask certain things, and you know, he's not even doing it like in a covert way. Like he's doing it intentionally. Like he drops these innuendos and asks these targeted questions around sex and her antics before they met and all this other stuff. Man, like he also is conflicted or like contradicting himself because she's said already, like she finds him attractive enough to want to take it to another level. Not that they should, but she's already stated that that's the level of attraction she has for him, but he is not attracted to her. So all this talk about tearing down and knocking boots and orgies and all these other things, yeah, he made himself look very mad. Like, so Arris, in my opinion, that dude does not belong on the show here, because like I couldn't for the life of me think about what his game plan must be in order to try and make this marriage work. Definitely a candidate that was probably mischosen for this situation. But if I was to give him some grace, I would, not that he deserves much, but I said a few weeks ago, I think he would be better suited with Kirsten, and Shaq would probably be better suited with Jasmine. And that probably would have a better outcome or a better chance of looking like it's going to last at this stage. But nah, Arris is done, man. I don't think he has any redeeming qualities. And I'll also say this as well. Like, we've had the conversation about dogs already. I won't go too much into that, but you know, that scene when they were washing the dog and all of that, man, I was just like, man, that wouldn't endear me to Jasmine either, to be fair. But you know, to each their own. If she's got like 4 dogs or 13 dogs or however much, imagine doing that all day with a different dog. Then, for me, Arris he's struck out, man. Can't give him no saving grace. Jasmine needs to, you know, realize that it's just not going to happen. And nursing him through the COVID like she did, you know, that showed that she's really willing to sacrifice to, you know, she was sitting there on the couch. She wasn't right next to him, but she was still in his space. She didn't leave him alone. And she could potentially caught that. So, yeah, there's nothing. Not for Arris.
Who wants to go next? Thank you, JR. Who wants to go next? Who wants to target it? Who wants to hit it? Oh, y'all running scared now. Go for it, Trey.
I think Arris has got it in his head or his mind that he's going to try and get Jasmine to break it off with him by acting this way. Because I don't know, it makes no sense to me the way he was talking to her about her inexperience with her sex life. It was like, I was like, bro, like, he was trying to make her feel guilty about her sex life, and I didn't understand why. I'm like, okay, and she has said beforehand that she didn't mind him being more experienced because she's willing to learn. Like, so you got a woman that's ready to be activated, in so many words. Yet he doesn't want her. You know, that's really what it boils down to. He does not want her. Let me ask y'all a question. Why every time, and they both do this, why every time they do something for one another, first of all, it looks forced most of the time. And then they always seem to rate each other afterwards. Like when she, when he had COVID and she kind of helped him out, took care of him, he's like, yeah, she did all right job and everything. I give her a 7. I was like, why are you rating that? I didn't understand that. Why are you rating her taking care of you because you got COVID and you're sick? And she does it too. But I noticed he did it first, so she kind of goes suit with it. They rate each other on everything that they do, from their looks to how they talk to one another and how they deal with one another. It's giving weird, just weird energy. But I do think, a part of me does think that Arris is purposely acting the fool to get Jasmine to leave first. Just leave me alone, leave first, whatever. I don't know. So some people do this, some people do that. They don't want to be the one to break it off, so they purposely act like an ass for you to do it. It happens. And this situation is given that. And plus, I do think, there is so apparent that there's nothing there, but it seems like they keep putting them in situations so they can have something to film. That's what it's feeling like to me. Like the whole dog washing thing, I'm like, okay, that don't really mean much. All you do is holding the hose and spraying the dog down. Like, it made no sense. I know he didn't set it up himself, and that was supposed to be a thank you for taking care of me for the last week or so because I had COVID. Let me wash this dog for you. Let me grab a little spray and spray him down. Like, what? Okay, that's some thank you. That's some thank you, but I don't have too much on them. I think it's been high time for Jasmine to call it quits. It's just, nah, this ain't it. Just no. Save your dignity and just walk away. But everybody here because they don't want to get fined. So, we all know how that go.
You done, Trey? Okay, well, y'all doing all this dog talk, and now you done talk my dog up. But yeah, listen, I'm kind of over Arris. I'm over his only child syndrome ways. And for those who know, I'm a fellow only child. I'm the president. So he definitely is emotionally stunted. I really, really feel like he is extremely immature, and he just completely enjoys Jasmine taking care of him. And I don't understand why she gives him any more attention. It's, for me, it's starting to just aggravate me with the amount of attention that she gives him. She should have left him in the room and quarantined from him. Like, why are we putting ourselves in jeopardy? And she goes to work, and I believe she's like a cheerleading coach or something. So you putting other people in jeopardy for this fool that ain't giving you the time of day, that continues to play these very childish, immature games. Never have I ever, which can be fun when played with the right people, but he just made the game so not fun. If you wanted to get to know her and have a little, fun, then allow it to be that. Get to know her. And what man is not thrilled, is upset that his girl has never cheated? It's like, come on, bro. Like, your relationship experience he's another one. Poor relationship skills. Like, that's actually a good trait. She's never kissed a girl. Good. Less competition for you to worry about. It's like, what are we talking about here? So I just didn't understand that. I thought that was ill-placed. I hated the rating in terms of, he's going to rate her a 7 because she has to go to work. So when you're sick, you want your wife to stay home and take care of you? Like, what's supposed to happen when you guys have kids? So you get sick, your kids get sick, she has to stay home for you, stay home for the kids? Like, bro, you're grown. Like, what did you do when you were single? You figured it out. Now I'm not the most, easy person when I'm not well, but I don't expect to be catered hand and foot. And, maybe I was groomed because my ex-wife was not about all of that. Come here, baby. Can we go? Okay, let me rub your head. She was going to slide me some tea, slide me some soup, slide me some crackers. And I'm going to work, bro. You're going to figure this out. And I'm fine with that. Like, slide me a little tea, slide me some coffee, and I could be okay. And I think Arris needed to be okay. Everybody's not going to mommy you at your big grown age. And we should not expect that. Like, that is a bit much. And especially for someone you're giving no energy to. He's giving her no energy whatsoever. And everything she says, he nitpicks at it. What I do like is Jasmine is starting to stand up for herself. He's asking her, are you in love with me? Why do you want her to be in love with you? You want to be admired? You want to be admired? Like, come on, bro. Get off your pedestal. Get off your high horse. And I'm glad she told him no. And I need more of an emotional connection. So I'm like, because I was starting to get nervous about her. And I think she is a true example of what I was saying earlier. And I'll land my plane here, is be who you are. And I think genuinely, she is just a very nice person. She's just like a really nice person. It's hard not to like her. She is so nice. So she's being herself, but she's like, yeah, you're not going to get in my love. You're not going to get all my energy either, which I do appreciate.
Yep. Oh, well, before we go, Crystal, I just want to read the super chats out real quick that you guys have put up. AAB says, I'm seeing Arrested Development on both Kirsten and Shaq's part. She's pretty, so she hasn't had to do much but be there. Shaq is awkward because ... AAB again, shout out AAB again, says Arris, aka Skeletor, might be worse than Chris from a couple of seasons ago. He's not ready for a damn thing. Now, if you play Killer Instinct, Skeletor is a name that you know. Come on, I see Skeletor, I think of Killer Instinct. Okay, shout out for that super chat as well. Yes, Andrea says the convo was needed, not specifically about the one job opportunity. It's about your career outlook and trajectory and where you see us going as well. Ari says, well, for the Abby coming on live fund. Shout out to Abby as well. And Andrea says again, Arris wants to see her as a quickie, not his wife. Once again, guys, keep your super chats coming. I will read them out as we go out through the show. We appreciate the super chats coming through as well. Yes, Crystal, go for it. Shout out. Go for it. Tell us what your point of view.
Okay, so Arris brings Not Deep to a new level because she wanted to have an emotional connection. She wanted to like have some deeper conversations with him, and he wanted to play Never Have I Ever. And it wasn't even the sexual conversation, like the talk about his sexual exploits or his being more sexually adventurous. It was the way he was reacting to her, saying, "Ugh, you've never had a threesome. Ugh, like you're boring. Like, oh, you've never had an orgy. Ugh." Like he was really like putting her down for not being sexually adventurous. He was really like, "Oh, oh my," like he was really upset about that. And I was like, what man is upset that his wife is not having an orgy or not having a threesome, or what man is upset about that? So, and even it got to me, just the way he was sitting was more of like a come at me like type of a thing. I'm sorry, but that whole interaction, and she was just like, she was saying, hey, I'm not upset that I haven't had these things happen to me, or that I haven't done these things. I'm not upset about it. And she's like, I'm just gonna keep drinking. I'm happy you're being honest. But and she said this on the after party. But one thing I can say about Arris is he is honest, but there are some things he can keep to himself. And I really just wish it wasn't even what he was saying, is how he was reacting to her. That was really what was bothering me. I gotta hand it to Jasmine, as Shawn was just saying. She is speaking up for herself, or she is like coming into her own, because he was like, well, to thank her, let's go wash the dog. I'll go help her wash the dog. She was like, thanks. And now she said it in the ITM, but she was like, thanks for the help, but this dog's getting groomed next week. Like, I don't know what he was thinking. So I got the impression that, all these little things that he's doing is not adding up to enough. But this man does not care about her, and he doesn't want to have a deep conversation. JRX has been saying that they should have switched, and Kirsten should be with Arris. The deep is different. I mean, the not deep is different, but unfortunately, if what's her name, Kirsten, was with Arris, she wouldn't have to worry about having a deep conversation, because he wouldn't want to care about that. He's not interested in having an emotional connection with you. He just wants to have the sex, and that's it. It was the way he was sitting. It was like he was saying, yuck, you haven't done this. He was like really turned off by her lack of sexual adventure. And even she said, I don't mind you want to teach me, but not if you're going to put me down about it first. That's it for now.
Appreciate it, Kristen. Go for it, Seaway.
Yeah, I think Arris doesn't like her, and when I mean he doesn't like her, I'm not sure how much he likes anything, but I think that whole conversation is what Trey said, and if you know men like this, then he was trying to antagonize her and push her away and see how far he can push her, but also be kind of sick, because he also wants her to say that she loves him. But while he wants that, he still wants to see how far he can push her away. It's a bit weird, and it's kind of sadistic. But he wants a certain type of girl, certain type of factor, somebody a little jazzy, someone who's done a few things, and that ain't her. And I think every time she answered a question, I think he was genuinely disgusted by her answers. And I will say that a lot of men that I know who act like this, and somebody said in the comments, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was, don't like women like that. You know what I mean? I think both of the black men on this show this season don't like women for different reasons. But I think in Arris's situation, he doesn't like women like that. So shout out to whoever said that in the comments. But I 100% agree. Because I don't think that you can really like and love a woman if you want her to be, you want to marry somebody that you want to pass around. I mean, there's exceptions to that. Let me back up. There are, some people who are into the open marriages and all the type of other stuff. And, if you find somebody who's also into that and y'all want to swing and do whatever, then yeah, there's exceptions. But in general, if you just want to like have your wife just kind of be out there like that, and you don't care that she was used and abused, and that's just not a good sign. So I think he was trying to push her away, but I also believe he was genuinely disgusted by her lack of experience and her boringness. He doesn't want nobody boring. The cheating thing was odd, because I don't know how cheating makes you exciting. I was with him up until that. I'm like, okay, at least the other stuff I get exciting. I'm not sure what's exciting about cheating, but I think he just finds her to be boring. So they need to call it. They need to call it quits, because it's not going anywhere.
I definitely hear you on that. Listen, I definitely don't. He's just not interested, is he? Really? And I just think it's for me. It's when he's just gone too far. I felt like he went too far today. I felt like he did too much today. And so for me, I don't like the way that Arris has gone about it with Jasmine. But I'm gonna say this. Shawn said some really powerful words later on. We have to look at both sides. Jasmine is a Build-A-Bear boo. This is why she's still in that position. She's a potential babe boo. Okay, she likes to build them up boo. She's a Lego boo. Okay, she likes that kind of stuff. This is why she's still there. Okay, there's a little slithering of hope. Okay, Hogwarts Legacy, shout out. There's a little bit of a slither of hope that Arris could turn it around. I'm telling you now, she's also got a problem. I honestly think the experiment puts these people together now for not just for bands, but to see if they can make it work. Can these people turn it around? She likes Build-A-Bear boos. Can the Build-A-Bear boo actually develop some commitment? And you know what? Most times they can't, because work has to be done outside of the show that most of them are not willing to do, and most of them can't do because sometimes they're not even aware of the deficit. So yeah, she's the Build-A-Bear boo. She lacks potential. She said that to us in the beginning. She lacks that potential. So I personally, I didn't like the way Arris went about his business, and I didn't like the way he spoke to her about the sex situation. That was for me a bit too far. I did like the fact that he was, washing her dog and everything. I genuinely do think Arris is a person that wants all the safety. If you heard his story that he said was the last girl that he almost fell in love with, it got to a point where, as he was about to fall, the girl was like, I don't want it no more. So Arris is the kind of person that needs so much time to fall in love. But guess what? We don't have that kind of time, sir. Okay, the time that you need, he needs like a 1 year, 2 years of being with that person with no titles, and suddenly he's gonna tell you he loves you. But we ain't got that time, sir. No one's got the time. No one's got the wherewithal to kind of stick it out for 2 years to see if you are gonna decide to love me or not. So to be honest, he definitely needs to see some counseling and some therapy. Definitely, I think he needs it. And that doesn't mean he's cuckoo or anything. It just means that there is things that he's dealing with that are still hampering him today, that you haven't been in love and you're 40 now. And then when you even get close to love, you even say you pull away. Yeah, you got issues and we need you to sort it out. Go for it, Shawn.
Yeah, I was going to say earlier, like, I think he was so hurt by that and he can't quite he started there. And I'm glad he was able to give us a glimpse into that, because that told us as much as we needed to know. He is avoidant because that really hurt him, because you heard how he said once he got to the point where he was ready, she was the one who made the decision, right? So I think now he's going to always put himself in the driver's seat, and that's why he's had all these hookups and why he talks so surface level, because he's afraid to get deep, because the one time he did get deep, he got hurt and rejected, actually. So now it's like, I'm never going to get rejected again. I'm going to be the one that's rejected. Another reason why he wants to be loved by Jasmine so much, because he wants to feel that adoration, because when he felt it for someone else, he got it rejected. So now he wants to be in the power seat always and never be vulnerable, because as we all know, once you're in love with somebody, there is a complete vulnerability in that, right? Especially in the early stages, because you're putting yourself on the line, and he's not willing to do that again because of his past trauma.
I just need him to go on the episode. If Kevin Samuels was still here, Arris needs to go on the show, because I don't think he's understanding his marketplace value or how he is perceived in the world. And I think that's also adding to his delusion. What I will say about Married at First Sight is they tend to match people based on, they do F around and find out sometimes, but they like to match people on attractiveness level and on kind of like finances and education when they're not playing around. They have been playing around, but when they're not playing around. Actually, what they were saying is that Kirsten is more attractive, and they think that the bald head, what's his face, is attractive and educated. They put them together. Arris was actually in his lane, but he seems to think that he is above her. And that is the weird part. He doesn't seem to understand that he is not above her. He thinks that he should be getting Kirstens and whoever else and baddies and IG models. And I think that's also going to hold him back. He needs to understand how he appears in society. Not only we're not going to get on looks, but I mean, let's just go to personality. He's blah, he's boring, he's not bringing anything, but he thinks Jasmine's boring. Like, he just, until he figures out how he comes out and across, I think he's also going to be delayed. He's a bit delusional in where he's at. And a person like Jasmine, like you said, Builder Boo, like Jasmine telling him that he's so fine and this and that is not helping. He needs some tough love.
You ain't lying. See, you ain't lying. I definitely think as well. I just think with Arris, there's there's some, I hope that maybe he does get some counseling, some therapy, because obviously clearly it's very deep what he's gone through. And obviously he mentioned a 12-year hurt. Almost said 12 years a slave, but 12 years hurt. And then but it's definitely deeper than the 12 years hurt then, because it's like the 12-year hurt compounds what's already there. You know what I mean? So that 12-year one is like the benchmark and saying, you know what, after I tried it once, I ain't doing it again. Yeah, I tried it once. I opened myself up. I became vulnerable, but I ain't doing it again. But it's because, again, he hasn't dealt with the original wounds that he has. I know that his father passed early from I think his father was murdered even. So it's actually a really big thing. And that trauma that he has of abandonment or someone being taken away from him, someone that you love being taken away from you, he doesn't realize how it affects him. And this is one of the conversations I had last night on Anton Daniel's channel as well with other men. Some men really just don't realize that you are affected by the trauma you're going through. And some women don't realize you are affected by the past that you have brought up in. And some of you are carrying some heavy ass trauma and you're calling it normal. And it's like your behavior is traumatic in this space. Arris might think to himself, yeah, this is me just avoiding relationships. No, you are living in your trauma and it's causing you to run away from situations. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, he may not fancy Jasmine, but this show, one thing I would say about Married at First Sight is, even if you don't fancy the person, it will expose some things about you. It'll put a mirror to you to see what kind of behaviors you actually have. How do you handle situations? And I think for Arris, there is some behaviors that he needs to really look at himself as to you don't fancy Jasmine, but you want her to be this overtly sexual person. What for? You don't want to be in a relationship with her. You don't want to necessarily want her for her. Why do you want her to be so sexual towards you? You know, why do you want her to be so sexual towards you? And I think going back to what some of you guys already said, there is a need for this wanting to be adored, and that sexual energy is about desire. When someone sexually wants you, it's about desire, being desired on a particular plane. So when a woman desires you in that way, it's like it gives him a boost. Yeah, someone wants me in that way, you know. So he will have to look at that, and he will have to look into why, you know, what's going on with him in that respect. Any more points on Arris and Jasmine before I move on? Fantastic. Let me read out super chat, and then we'll move on to the next one. From Kesha, she says he's one of the worst picks in Married at First Sight history. Damn. One of the worst ones in Married at First Sight history. Damn. Okay, I hear you, baby. So, and I think I might have read this before. I'm not sure I did, but it says Arris wants to see her as a quickie, not his wife. So, all right, let's move it on then. Let's move it on then. Kirsten Nicole. Okay, he called her a thickie. And then she says she doesn't. I'm not gonna lie to you, but then again, I thought to myself, I am not her, so let me not. But he said thicky, and I was like, baby, he was coming to confess, to tell you just in case, so that you didn't see it later on. And she's like, I don't know about you, but you know, calling the girl thick, I can call myself thick, but you can't. I said, this is the same thing y'all did to Clint in the same thing, and now you're doing it to your own man. Oh, I see it. Okay, the brother said you think a little bit thicker than usual. That's all. Didn't call you fat. He said just a little bit thicker than I'm used to. Okay, and let me tell you something. I learned this lesson. Okay, let me just be honest with you. I learned this lesson. I grew up in an all-black school. Then I went to a predominantly white school, and I said to the white girl, "Oh, your ass is fat," and she started crying. I mean, she started crying tears. I was like, "What's wrong with you?" You're calling me fat. I said your ass is fat. PHAT. What's wrong with you? She did not understand. She started crying because you see, for certain white folk, having features like black folk really does not give any compliments to them at all. You know, I'm not saying she's racist. I'm just saying that, you know, for certain white folk, you know, any kind of thickness and that kind of stuff, they don't see it like that. We see it like that, but they don't see it like that. You know, so if you're familiar with our culture, you won't mind a little thick. Someone calls you thick, you're gonna be like, yeah, all right. But when they ain't like that, it's a little bit touchy, you know what I mean? I never forgot that moment. She was bawling tears. I mean, full on tears. Ha! God have mercy. I said, baby, you crying because I said your ass is flat? That's crazy. All right, cool. Yes, you go for it.
I was gonna say there's a couple pluses and minuses to the scene. I think the pluses for Chris is that he said something and he got ahead of it. If you know you said something, you may want to get ahead of it. I feel like that's the best way to handle it. The minus though is he was capping when he was talking about he didn't mean it in a bad way. No. You meant it in a bad way because that's why you're trying to get ahead of it. If it was a compliment, or like you said, if you knew that the community that you guys were in would view it as a compliment, then there would be nothing for you to confess. He literally is saying, I'm letting you know, I don't want you to hear it, you know, later that, you know, this is what I said. So again, positive, he got ahead of it. Negative, he playing in her face, talking about he meant it as a compliment. He definitely did not. As far as Nicole is concerned, I was happy. The positive with her response is that she didn't blow up. She didn't get super mad. And she said, you know, thanks for letting me know. But she also set her boundaries by letting him know, like, hey, in the future, this is not the best thing to say. I already have body, you know, issues, and this is kind of triggering for me. So, you know, thanks for letting me know. But, you know, I would ask that you avoid stuff like that in the future. I feel like that was a very adult way, a mature way to handle it. And I thought that was excellent on her part. I don't really have a minus for her, except for the fact that I think we got to be real. A lot of times, if we thick, we thick. And the same thing goes for him. His body is not perfect either. So I feel like, you know, part of us we just gotta leave all this stuff alone if we ain't perfect ourselves. But, you know, I also think although you should set your boundaries, you gotta be kind of aware as well about your situation. And, you know, you can't be too offended that someone says what you kind of are. I know that sounds bad, but if you thick and somebody says that you're thick, how offended can you really be? I don't know, but I am glad that she let her husband know that that is a sensitive spot for her because they're in a relationship now. I do think that was a great way to handle it. So
fair point. Can't lie to you. Who wants to go next? Who's got strong feelings about this, huh? Yeah, who got strong feelings about this? Oh, y'all were just lining up when it was Shaq and Kirsten. Go for it, Crystal.
I'll go. I did think it was a very diplomatic and nice way to handle it. I think that she said, I have full-blown body dysmorphia. And please stay away from words like that. I like the way he said it. I like the way he said it. He was trying to get above it. He was actually speaking up for himself because we know that what's his name, Chris, does not do that. And he's just trying to recently stick up for himself, and she has had to push him into speaking up for himself. So he's like, I just want to let you know, just in case you say it later, that I did say this, but you know that you're not usually what I go for, but you're thick, but not in a bad way. So he was really trying to smooth it over and really put some sweet candy all over it. So it wasn't horrible, and she handled it very, very, very maturely because we all know that what's her name, Nicole, can go off. So, and this is still going to be in the back of her head all the time. So she said, just stay away from words like that. Yeah, it was a very nice and diplomatic conversation, and just very, very, you know, nice. I was like, okay, this is gonna come up again though. I just think this is gonna come up again. Yeah, this was not like the the Clinton, what's her name thing. So it wasn't that bad to me. Yeah, just like you said, the way Black culture looks, or Black people look at thick, and the way white men look at thick. And also, he has said he has body issues too. So, you know, yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say about it right now.
I think her problem is, Crystal, is whatever she got going on is not really dysmorphia. She's seeing what we seeing. And what she's seeing, you can't really fix.
She doesn't like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's one thing, like if you're bigger, yeah, you can lose weight. But if it's your body shape,
right,
in particular, like shoulders or any, you know, stuff that you can't even surgery away, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure that's hard for her, because she looks like, and I know we debated this earlier, like she looks like she goes to the gym, like she tries to tone up and whatever, but your shape is your shape. And there's certain things that, you know, you can't even fix in 2023.
No, I agree. She's short and she has shoulders, or she has certain body type. She has a specific body type that's not going to go away in a month. Is something that she does work out. You can tell that she does work on it, and this is what she calls it, body dysmorphia. But it's a body type that is not going to be simple to get rid of. That's true.
So she definitely has to be with a man that doesn't highlight that. When you have that type of, y'all both just need to be bad body together is what I'm really saying. Like if y'all both bad body, be bad body together, but it doesn't need to be brought up, because I don't think that she can really fix what she got going on. So I do get, you know, her insecurity is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Sean.
Yeah, so I'm not going to touch that. But what I will say is that this is what I saw another example of people talking too much, chat too much, because they got the massage, right? And a massage is supposed to be a serene experience. A couple's massage is supposed to take us into an intimate, heightened, calm space. And they're doing all this bumping of the gums. It's too much. Sometimes people just need to know when to be quiet. You know, like you told them, shh, you chat too much. Like they just need to stop talking. You do all that talking, and you're bound to say, trust me, I had to learn this in my own marriage. You know, sometimes I win an argument, and then I want to go and keep adding on. And I told y'all this before, right? I had to know when to be quiet. Sometimes you just got to know when to be quiet. It's okay. It's okay. We don't have to talk about everything right now. We can pace ourselves. And the same thing with that comment. Men, I've learned, trust me, I've learned my ways. We don't talk about bodies. Everybody's beautiful. Everybody is runway ready, right? We don't have these conversations because they are never you're going to go down a rabbit hole, right? So if you think you're whatever you are, I support it. I'm with you. As long as I find you attractive. And if I don't find you attractive, I still don't need to tell you about your size. I don't need to talk about your weight. I can just let you know I'm not attracted to you. But I think that is the lesson. Also, on the other hand, for us men, we don't need to go down this conversation, because it never goes well. Although I think Nicole took it as best as she could, you know, but it all came with a lecture too about body dysmorphia, which I think the terminology was wrong, but you know, I could be wrong too. So it is what it is. But I think sometimes you just got to talk less. The more you talk, the more you get yourself in trouble, because people aren't ready for everything you got to say. And I really do think that, you know, Nicole does need to pump her brakes on this. Do you love me? You know, are we in love yet? You know, would you choose me? Today's decision today, would you choose me? It just comes off very insecure. It comes off, you know, lack of confidence. She has to pace herself, because she's going to wind up self-sabotaging, right? You know, and Chris needs to speak less. Just speak less. Learn to hold your composure. You tried to do the right thing by getting ahead of the enemy, but you could have told her that after decision today, because she's not going to see this footage for weeks and weeks and weeks. Just wait, bro. You don't need to spill your guts. You can wait till you two have chosen each other. Say, listen, babe, I loved you. We rolled in the hay several times. I love every ounce of you, every inch of your body, but I made a stupid comment in the beginning. And I just want to let you know I said something dumb in case it comes up on TV, but you're beautiful. You know, that's it. Don't tell her in front of the cameras because you know production is going to use it. And now if they weren't going to say it or film it, now you put it to the front of the list of the pile to be edited in when it might have be left on the cutting room floor. So that's all I got to say.
Let this be a prime example of a situation if you're being interviewed by production staff on your confessionals and they ask you specific questions. To Sean's point, it is okay to sidestep the question. It's okay. Because this is just foolishness. If I was there, I wouldn't even answer the question. Like, no, what? I ain't answer that. I know what you're doing right there. No, because it's going to get back to her. You know, and to keep it real, it's really an innocuous answer. You know, because it could be a thing. Yeah, you know, she's probably a little thicker than I have dated. It's probably the truth. He doesn't seem to have a problem with it. He's just stating the simple fact, just like Clint did. But you see, he got crucified. And Chris saw that. He was like, ooh, wait a minute. Yeah, during that honeymoon, I did answer that. You know what? Ooh, damage control before this train smacked me in the face. So I understood why he felt like he had to say something. Like, you know, let me get in front of this. Because you know it's coming. Because like Sean said, they're going to use it. You said it. You gave them plenty of ammo. They're going to use it. But, like I said, it's just a prime example. Listen, you don't have to answer every question that they give you, especially when you know that, all right, this could probably be a problem. You're talking about a woman's body shape and this and that. No, just no. As long as you like it, that's all that matters at the end of the day. That's all you needed to say. Oh, I'm fine with it. Yeah, I like her, so I'm good. That's all he needed to say. But I can tell by the way they by the way they edited that scene, it seemed like they asked him a few times, may have asked that question a few times to get a certain answer. And he finally answered the way, you know, so that they wanted to get, because you know that's going to be a good plug-in. You know, that, oh, yeah, we can use that. Good plug-in, you know, because it could be a good storyline or whatnot. Cole, yeah, I'm like Sean. I ain't touching that. You know, how she feels, how she feel. You know, I personally don't think there's nothing wrong with her or her body, whatever. You know, she looks strong, but it's fine. She's just very athletic. So, just very. Come on, JR. She's just athletic.
JR said cap.
Being nice. She's very athletic. Listen, I mean, when it was getting them massages, I ain't gonna lie. I was like, yo, her pecs bigger than his. That's crazy. But I'm sorry.
Trey, not her pecs. You can't see her pecs now.
I saw muscles, bro. I saw muscles.
You mean her tries?
Not strong. What is happening?
Not her pecs.
Wait,
that would be her breast.
just divested them, y'all. Divested.
Huh?
I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna bring it back.
I told y'all.
I'm gonna bring it back. We all saw it. I was like, what? Whoa, flat stop. I said, oh shit. Okay, but you know, listen, I still don't think nothing's wrong with her. She's just very athletic, but obviously she has a problem with her own body. He has a mental block about it. Yeah, so that's her cross to bear. Now he's going to have to deal with it, of course. You know what I'm saying? So, but as far as the comment, yeah, I understand why he had to say what he said, because he saw that coming. And he was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to have to get in front of this. I'm going to have to get in front of this quick.
JR, go for it.
Yeah. I think she, she's obviously admitted that she has an issue with her physical, right? Her body. So that's something she needs to get help with, because sometimes people can get inside their own head where they start to think negatively, and they will need constant reinforcement, constant, reaffirming of how you feel about them. And I think what he did was he paid attention to when Clint was getting slaughtered for what he said. And he's probably been sweating on his comments for a few weeks and decided that now was the time to let her know what he said. Because he said exactly what Clint said, it's just Clint said it in a setting where it seemed reactionary in a group setting. Whereas Chris actually sat down and said it one-to-one with no prompting, with no beef, no animosity. He actually stated his preference was, to date a different type of a different lady, a lady with a different body type. I think there is an issue when you do state your preferences, just like we discussed with Kirsten earlier. Okay, you don't like bald men usually, but you got one now. Like, so is that going to be the thing that you use to block your potential happiness and give you what you wanted, which was a marriage? And with Chris, like him voicing that doesn't bode well for him, because he clearly is attracted to her. They've been intimate, probably multiple times. They've actually advanced their relationship more than any of the other couples on the show. So if he wasn't attracted to her, I don't think they would have been intimate. And as has already been pointed out, Chris has moves. He has man boobs, right? He is not in physical peak condition to do anything. Like, doesn't look like he goes to the gym, doesn't look like he's active at all. I'm not saying he has to be, but I've said it before multiple times. If you live in a glass house, you shouldn't throw stones. If you know that you're particularly sensitive about your appearance, then, you have to kind of say, look, I'm not going to criticize your physical appearance because I have hang-ups about my own. And if you start taking shots on my physical, then I'm not going to like it. So I think there's a level of empathy, because they're in a similar situation with regards to how they view themselves. A level of empathy was probably needed there. I do see manipulation in what Chris is doing now, more than I have previously, because he has shown that he can actually stand up for himself when he wants to. Like when she keeps on asking him to say whether he loves her or not, he's quite adamantly said, no, I'm going to do that when I feel necessary, when I feel I'm ready to do that, right? Because it comes across as her needing reassurance, again, needing validation, maybe low self-esteem or whatever. But it will come in time when the feelings are there, all right? It will mean more when the person has reached that point by themselves, and then they express it. They're in that vulnerable space where they say how they feel. So her trying to, she's asked him about 4 or 5 times since the cameras were rolling and we've caught it. So it's obviously a big thing to her to hear him say those words. Does that mean she's at that level herself though, where she's going to say it to him and it's as genuine? We don't know that. I think it's more of a reassurance thing. If she knows that he's fully invested in her and capable of saying those words to her, then she kind of will feel like, okay, now I've got him. Now he's invested in me. Now, we can probably do something more serious with this relationship. But they're already on a good path. But she does come across very needy, and she is accommodating. I'm going to give her a props. She is accommodating. She navigated that conversation very well. She told him what to say instead of saying she's a pick'ems or whatever he said, right? So, you know, she put that out there. She didn't scold him. She didn't go off on him like she did with Clint. So I have to give her credit for that. And he probably wouldn't have been able to take it if she went off on him like Clint did, because Clint seems like a stronger personality than Chris is. So Clint can take it and defend himself and make his point about why he said it. I don't think Chris would be able to articulate it. Chris will probably break down and start crying, feeling like he's being hazed, bullied, or spoken to aggressively. But yeah, as far as I can see, despite this episode having a few you know, challenging conversations, I still feel like this couple are potentially the front runners to stay together at the end.
Bars. Okay, I'm hearing you. Who next? Who wants to take it on? These two are very sensitive people, so they're gonna have to be very, very careful how they talk about one each other. Definitely. I personally think that, you know, Nicole actually handled the conversation quite well. I mean, like I said, in my back of my mind, I was like, Vic, maybe that's a good thing. You don't even know. But like I said, you know, when you've dealt with certain caucasities, you understand that they have a different way of seeing thick. They see it with a K at the end. We see it with double C. So it just gets at that, you know. But, you know, I think obviously with his comments, he was getting ahead of the devil. And he told her, and I appreciate that because that's honesty, and it means that she won't see it later on and become an argument. I think she was expressing her boundaries quite well, you know, letting him know that that's not what she likes to be called, and she has body dysmorphia and everything like that as well. So I mean, I respect that, you know. I can't even be mad at that. And he did tell her he still finds her attractive, he still likes her, you know. He just said, obviously, I've dated, you know, he just said I've dated someone who's not a stick, and that's the word that he used, you know. So, you know, I guess, you know, now he'll now know not to mention anything about appearances when it comes to his wife. He has to lie some more, so that he can live a long and prosperous life. When she asks you, does this dress look good? You lie again, because you want to live a long and prosperous life, you know. And yeah, no, but in all jokes aside, of course, not everyone is as sensitive as that. So it really just depends on the person. I know some women said, don't lie to me like that, and I respect that as well. So, you know, listen, if you lie to me a certain thickness, you know what I mean, you see I'm getting a bit of a gut and you don't like it, you better tell me, because I don't want you to be, I don't want it to wait till it gets down the line and you're like, I don't like that kind of belly that you got, and then now you turned off me. I'd rather you tell me early. I may not like it in the beginning, but by the end, I'm going no. Do you know what I mean? Like, I personally don't want it. It will hurt. Nothing's not going to hurt. Like, do you know what I mean? But for me personally, don't lie to me. If you don't find me attractive, we said this already, that's in general. But if you're my partner and you see me getting a little bit out of shape that you don't like, I need you to be like, baby, listen, baby, you know I love you, but, you know, getting a little bit of and I'm going to laugh about it and I'm going to get on with it. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to get myself in the gym. Because what I don't want is to be at a space where you're already at the point of turning off and it's too late to do anything. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to wait to get to that point. You know, that's that for me. And so for me personally, I wouldn't want that. But I understand for her, you know, for her, it might be slightly different. You know what I'm saying? So everyone has to work with what they have to work with. You know, everyone got their couples and what they believe to be right. You know, any more thoughts on Chris and Nicole? Any more thoughts on Chris and Nicole? No? All right, let's go to Clint and Gina. We're going to end on them. I don't think we'll be that long with Clint and Gina because there ain't much to say apart from the fact that old girl does not know anything else apart from her salon. Okay, she doesn't know how to talk about anything else but the saloon. What you going to eat tonight? The saloon. Where are you going to go tonight? The saloon. What you going to wear? The saloon. You know what I mean? What you driving? The salon. Okay, everything is a salon with Gina. Is that a problem? You know, I know he spoke to his mom, and the mom obviously, you know, the mom obviously said to him that, you know, when you start a business, the first 4 years, you kind of like, you you kind of obviously, be focused on the business, but it does cause problems in relationships. So give me your thoughts, guys. Clint, Gina, relationship, marriage. They said they haven't really got much chemistry in that. So talk to me. What we saying about Clint and Gina? Someone said Gina's married to her business. Madness. Wow. Okay, who wants to go for it? Go for it, Trey. Thank you.
I see why Gina has been promoting her salon so much, not helping there. I was unimpressed. I hate to say I was unimpressed. They kept talking about this salon like it was like the biggest thing in Nashville. We woke up in there, I was like, where the rest of it? But I was just like, what's going on here? This is it? This little room right here. It ain't a back room or something. You got a little space. That's dope. What's going on? Oh, so now I understand the promotion. Yeah, you're trying to drive that business on in so we can expand later. But you got to start from someplace. But Gina and Clint, Clint, I have to give Clint this. This could be good. This could be bad. Clint can be a good politician because he is on the campaign trail of trying to be a good husband. Trying. But he is on the campaign trail. He's kissing babies. He's petting dogs. He's meeting the friends, shaking hands. He's doing all that he can to at least put forth the effort of trying to be married. And I guess I have to give him credit for that. At least some of it. Gina, she's just there now. She's riding this out. You can tell she's just riding this out to the end. We already know what her answer is going to be. You know what I'm saying? I think I don't know who mentioned this before, but it is kind of weird that she she says she don't like ginger, but she got a ginger dog. This is weird. It's kind of weird, but that's neither here nor there. The only other thing I got, I felt bad for Clint when he finally took her sailing, and she was able to use them sailing gloves he brought her as a gift. I was like, oh, she using the gloves, all right. But you could tell that is Clint's piece. That's where he goes to relax. This is who he is. He's Commander Clint. Commodore Clint is who he is. And she was just, her energy was just no. She's just there. You know what I'm saying? It looked like it was upsetting his peace a little bit while it was out there. Just dry. Her energy was dry. And Clint's the type of person, he runs off the energy in the room. If there's dryness going on, whatnot, or the energy is down, he's going to look down and despondent and out. He can't hide it on his face. If something's off, you're going to see it on his face. You're going to see it play off. Like the energy sucks. Now the energy's up. He's the life of the party. He's getting it started. He's talking to everybody. He's in it. They just ain't gonna work. I did think there was hope there in the beginning, but after that debacle in Jamaica, and her saying that she really wasn't attracted to him, and honestly, I think he responded with saying that he was unattracted to her only because she said that to him. If that wasn't the case, this probably been a whole different subject. But we're just watching paint dry as far as they're concerned. It's just, just paint dry. Maybe something interesting. Actually, I don't know if we were talking about it. Did y'all, in the middle of that episode, did y'all catch that commercial? It was like a future commercial. They're finally going to do like an after credit show. What actually happens after the show. And they got one of the husbands sliding in another wife's DM. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's when the mess gonna start. That's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be interesting. But as far as them, yeah, it's just paint dry. You know, kind of feel sorry for them actually, just a little bit, just a little bit.
Go for it, Sean.
Yeah. Now, what I will say is Gina is thick in a good way. You know, Gina's thick. You know, Gina be wearing them sweatpants. Not the sweatpants. I'm sorry. Them what they call them, tights, whatever they call them things. She be doing that. Okay. So Gina is thick in a good way. So I think just wrong term, wrong wife. It applies to Gina. And but other than that, that's all. You know, that's all I got. Yeah, thank you, Felicia Cooper leggings. I couldn't. Lost my train of thought. But again, I feel like these two, they're just not. There's like if zero chemistry was a thing, negative chemistry would be more effective, right? You know, and thank God they don't rate each other like Arris likes to rate Jasmine, because I think there would be some negative integers in their equation. You know, they went to the what was that, the bull riding thing, and you know, they seemed like they got on like friends. They were supposed to hold hands while they talked and did their little exercise, but still no fireworks, no chemistry, nothing whatsoever. You know, and it's unfortunate, but I think they're in a better place. You know, at least they're learning to get along. And I think that they're just going to be okay at decision day to not choose each other, you know, and I think they will walk off with no ill will. What I didn't like was that when they went to the salon and her little friends talking about, oh yeah, you look like you would be messy. That to me seemed like Gina had been talking about Clint, because I call cap on people who are usually funny or messy. That's a big leap, ma'am. No, you got some information and your gums got to bumping and you said more than you needed to say. You know, so that part I didn't like. I do, you know, think that Clint is trying to give it a go, but Gina seems to think she's above him. And unfortunately, Seaway had to leave because I think Gina could also take her advice, right? You need to know where you place in the world, right? So before you so willingly reject and object, you need to have a wee bit of self-reflection, a wee bit, just a wee bit, you know, and kind of understand your level so that when you meet someone else, you know, it's one thing to have a type, but it's another thing to just, you know, give somebody a chance, especially when you came on and tried to, you know, you're trying to find a match on a show. And I think he's really given some effort, and he talked to his mom to try to get some advice on how to deal with the fact that she's so into this salon. So that's my thoughts on that.
Can I go? I didn't know. Jared goes, okay. Boy, these two are the best of friends, ain't they? They're just gonna be the best of friends, and it's just gonna just end, and that's it. I think I am very pleasantly surprised, unless the other shoe drops. I'm pleasantly surprised by what's his name, Clint, because he genuinely seems like he's trying. He's going that extra effort, like Trey was saying, like he is politicking. He's doing all the things he likes his dog. He likes the dog better than, you know, than her. He is putting in the effort in all areas. He's going by her salon. I think this is her current salon, and that's why she got the brick and mortar. So it's going to be bigger. So he's putting in all this effort. You're right, Shawn. They've been definitely keying behind his back, because you don't know if this man is messy, because you in the other room. You have not, y'all been tiptoeing around each other like minefields. So you've just been talking about the man behind his back and just like venting to your girls. And there's really, on the surface, really nothing that we can come up with, I think, to really vent about Clint with. And he genuinely seems like he's putting in the effort, unless we're not, and there could be something we're not seeing. He's doing what he's doing, his job is what you've checked out. Gina, since they had that argument on the honeymoon, she's going through the motions, but she's not putting in that effort that Clint is, and that's it. These two are the best of friends. They went to the rodeo. I didn't even really pay attention to their conversation after the rodeo. They walked off. They were going to go to the left, right, and they went to the left. Okay, that's it. Just, stay in the separate bedrooms and walk and tiptoe around each other for the next couple weeks. That's it.
Kojo, real quick.
Go for it, sir.
So I want to ask some of the fellas a question, because it seems like there's a couple ladies in the chat who are not seeing what we're seeing. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Does Gina's shape have a little plumpness, a little roundness to it? Like, that she got little hips and a little, I'm not saying she's stacked like the sisters from the back. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I'm saying that she's, she got a little thickness to her, a little something to her, a little shape to her. Do y'all agree or disagree?
Hey, I'm with it. I think I agree that she got a little thickness to her. You know what I mean? Listen, I like a little thigh, so give me a little thigh. She got a little thickness to her. Yeah, I said, I mean, he ho ha. Little kid, you know what I mean? Hey. Yeah, just a little he-ha.
When you
know what I mean?
It's gonna bounce off.
Just a little,
you hit it, it's gonna pop back a little bit,
What is happening?
It's not gonna bong like that. It's gonna pop back,
I am not
to it.
I'm not involved. Sean took it to another level with it. I was like, I'm not involved. I don't know where he's going with it.
I'm not
gracious.
fooling
What do you say, Trey?
I am not fooling y'all. Nah.
Oh man.
I mean, she's not badly shaped, but no, no. Like, nah. Listen, not even at 2 a.m. I'm sorry.
A little good,
No, not even at 2 a.m. Before the lights come on, I'm out.
I'm just saying, I think she got a little woo.
That's a little. She's got hips. She got the hip shape. You turn to the side, ain't nothing back there, so it's like, nah, for me, it's a no for me.
Yeah,
it ain't Kirsten. Kirsten got a speed bump, boy. Now that's a speed bump.
You know how I feel about Kirsten. That's
speed bump right there.
We better move on before they start saying that we objectify.
You must slow down to 5 miles per hour. Slow down to 5 miles per hour across this bump.
we gonna leave it there because they're gonna say we're objectifying women, so we're gonna leave it there. We'll talk about offline after dark. Guys, some of these women are the way they're coming at Gina. I need y'all to stop. Okay,
they worse than us, bro. They worse than us. They are destroying her.
Ladies, Come on now. Okay. Yes, who hasn't spoken with us? Anyone else want to add on Gina and Clint? Go for it, Joe.
I think it would be naive to think that Gina didn't take Clint's comment about her a few weeks ago back to the hair salon and vent to her employees and the staff about what he said and how she felt. Like, she probably moaned and cussed that man out. And that's where I think the messy comment came from. Because how are you going to see someone for the first time and say, I assume you'd be messy? Like, that don't even make no sense. You don't know nothing about the brother. You're only hearing secondhand information based on what she's been feeding. And she looks like the type of person that would go back and just open up on him at that time, because she was really offended by what he said, despite her instigating the whole back and forth between them, which wasn't really a back and forth, to be honest. She said whatever she was saying multiple times, and I guess she expected him to just be cool with it, right? I wouldn't say they're going to be the best of friends. I think she's on the show to promote her business, and she managed to do that. You know, the cameras got to go inside and meet the staff and see what a friendly salon it might be. So that's probably her main objective. I will give her some credit, however, because when they went, not only just the rodeo, but also, you know, he talked about his lineage coming from a long line of sailors. He took her out on the river on one of his boats, did one of his favorite pastimes, and she seemed to have fun, and she was participating as well. You know, so, you know, I don't think she hates him. I don't think she, you know, was putting on for the cameras about that particular part. I think she actually enjoyed that boat interaction that they had. But still no match. What's done is done. She'll never go over that comment that he made. And it only took for that one incident to really turn her off, because she really wasn't feeling him in the first place like that. All right. It was just one comment, and boom, the whole thing, the whole boat has sunk. So it doesn't matter how good of a sailor he is, he ain't gonna be able to navigate those waters of this relationship.
I'm hearing you on that 100%, 100%. Y'all still going in the chat, ladies? It's okay, ladies. It's okay. Okay, it's our preference. Okay, let it lie. Okay, let it lie, ladies. All right. Okay, all right. Let it lie. All right. Some of y'all are too serious just because we said she looks a little bit thick. Okay, it's okay. If you disagree, fine. Okay, there's no need to describe what you think she looks like. Leave it alone. Yes.
So we're gonna run because Chris walked, right? So we learned, and there's nothing more beautiful, more shapely. The true definition of thick in all its luscious ways goes to our sisters. Okay, so our sisters are the thick ones. Our sisters are the lovely ones. You know, we just happen to be commenting on, you know, a lady from another persuasion that had a little thickness. She was thick-like, you know. She's not the true definition of our sisters when we think of thick. Okay, just, you know, she got a little something to her, but we're not trying to offend. We don't need to break her down, you know. We don't need to offend her, you know, or anyone else. We appreciate her.
You're gonna lie till you die. You're gonna lie till you die. Go for it, Trey.
Fellas, this might be the wrong hill to die on tonight. Don't fight this fight.
I'm gonna fight tonight.
The wrong hill down. If they want to get into a mudslinging contest, let them do it. We just get our popcorn and watch. Let them do it.
Not on my watch.
Tonight on your watch.
Bring out a y'all better snipes.
Not on my watch. Better snipes
on this show. Now, what we need to call out, I'm so sorry, Coach, we didn't get into it, and I know you didn't watch the after party, but what
Yeah,
we
no,
need
that's right.
to
You can say
get,
that. You can say it.
huh? We need to
You
get
can say it.
into the sisterhood contention because it has really shown up way too many times. And I
Oh, what
love
happened?
Rudy, I really do, but she done pissed me off
Who?
because old girl got to crying. You know, my favorite thick one. Now that's a thicker than a snicker right there. I don't care what you say. I'll fight y'all all day, all night, line them up. Kirsten is thick in all the right ways. Okay. Now we ain't gonna even debate that. But what she was doing was with the tears, with the waterworks. Oh, it just made me think about my emotions. And she never said anything. And then here comes Rudy coming up. Oh, I can't walk in my heels, but I'm gonna go console you. What did she say? She didn't really say anything. She said nothing. So she just gave a little cry, a little tear, and now all the ladies are crying. It's like, come on. We got to hold her accountable because I still don't understand, you know, what's going on here. And, you know, just to cover her, just the same way they covered her in the past, I'm just not into it. So that part.
Yes, Crystal, go for it.
She didn't say anything, and Rudy actually said, or now I'm calling her Rudy, Keisha Knight Pulliam, she actually did say, I'm calling BS on you. Like, I want you do have to open up sometime. And she didn't say anything. She just started tearing up and she started crying. And so they were like giving her space, like you said, Coach, to speak, giving her an open forum to say something, and she just started to bawl. And Rudy's like, now you know, I can't be walking in my heels, my pregnant butt. I'm gonna get up in here and give you a hug, but I just gotta give you a hug, girl. It's okay to open up, but say something. Just say something. What's his name? Shaq didn't give you the space to speak. These ladies are giving you the space to speak, and she didn't say anything.
That's because she's got nothing to say. She got nothing to say. Like, if she did, then she would have either said it to Shaq or said it to the ladies who are in solidarity with her, being in the same process with her. She would have been able to open up. So I think she's probably crying because she knows that she's going home and she's not going to be married for too much longer. Like, so the experiment was a failure on her part. Don't matter how much you try to spin it or how much gloss you tried to put on it. Bottom line is, she wasn't feeling the man that they paired her with. And the reality is, despite coming on all the after parties, despite going on all the dates, like, the chemistry wasn't there on her side. So back home she goes, having done this experiment, and it hasn't been successful. That's why she's crying.
I hear that, baby. I hear that. All right, cool. Well, I think we've come to the end of the show. It's been a good conversation, you know, and you know, we enjoyed ourselves today and enjoyed ourselves tonight. You guys had a good time. First and foremost, before we get the benediction going anywhere, make sure you guys like the live, because, you know, we had 600 people in there. I don't have 600 likes. So make sure you click on that like button right now. Yeah, grab that mouse on your phone, press that like button right now. Okay. All right. Press the like button right now. That's it. Press the like button. Yeah. Sean, give us the benediction, babe.
Absolutely. I think we need to do a live on like attraction, double standards, because I'm seeing a little thing in the chat about double standards, and now we're talking about medium ugly. Like, y'all,
we never said any woman's ugly. We never said any woman was ugly.
Y'all just be leaping off the hills and the valleys. So I think we need to have, you know, maybe a Tuesday, just my little 2 cents suggestion. You know, maybe we need to have like how do men and women better communicate with each other, because sometimes we just be straight missing each other. And it turns into a full-on men and women, and we just think we're talking. So we need to, I think that's something to think about. But let me stay in my lane and get back to my benediction here. So from what we saw tonight, if we're going to rate the episode, we're going to give it a 7, right? We're going to do like Arris and give it a 7. But what I'm going to say about this panel tonight, this panel was a 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. Okay? So we made it in abundance. And that is because we dug deeper. And I think that's what it takes in relationships. When you think about relationships, you have to dig deeper. You think about a marriage, you have to stretch yourself, right? We started off strong with Kirsten and Shaq. And, you know, we don't match energy in marriages, right? You want to match energy, you can match energy with friends, you can match energy at work, you can match energy with your neighbors. But in a relationship, you don't need to, marriages aren't successful when we match energy, right? Marriages are successful when we be our true selves. We learn to grow, we stretch ourselves, we're open and willing to do things different. So for Shaq, our advice is learn how to relate to your woman, right? And get to the bottom of it, right? And for Kirsten, be yourself, be honest, be upfront, right? Don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. If you like me, you like me. And if you don't, you don't, you know? And I think those are all things that, you know, we could take to heart is be true to who we are, be our true selves, and be honest, right? And sometimes for those of us that have careers that put us in a position to lead, teach, coach, we shouldn't be doing that at home. Just like if you're a therapist, you shouldn't be therapizing your family members, your loved ones, your relationship partners, right? You need to be you, right? And you need to bring your authentic self, not your work self, home. So leave that at work. And when you're home, you're home. When it comes to Gina and Clint, unfortunately, I think these two have finally got to a point where they're being reasonable. If it's not there, it's not there, you know? You can't light a wet log. If the log is wet, the fire is not going to be ignited. So sometimes you got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. You know, when it comes to Chris and Nicole, sometimes speaking less is a thing. Not lying, just speaking less. Choosing your words, choosing the timing. Sometimes less is best. You know, sometimes we get comfortable. We want to open up. We got to let moments be moments, enjoy ourselves. And there's truth to the old saying, silence is golden. Silence is golden, folks. Sometimes we talk ourselves right out of a good thing. Back to you, Coach.
Thank you very much, Sean. I appreciate that. Listen, guys, it's been amazing. It's been great. We enjoyed ourselves today, you know, and I enjoyed spending time with you guys as well. It's been fun. It's been insightful. So I enjoy it. You know, it was good talks. You know, but yes, we'll be back here on Saturday. For another live on Ready to Live. It might be a little bit later than usual, actually, the Ready to Live live, because I have to be somewhere on Saturday. So, but it will be a little bit later on that Saturday than usual. But yeah, we look forward to the conversation, guys. We look forward to the conversation. Okay. And then we have a men's panel on Sunday. I'm really enjoying the men's panel. We bring in, some good points to the men's panel, and we're having some real deep conversations. So make sure you guys join us for that. Share it with somebody else who would love to hear from some good quality men as well. Before we go, let me leave you guys with a little riddle, because I always say I gotta leave it on the last note, for you guys to win a little for a little $5 cash app. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna put it across the screen so you can see it. All right. The riddle goes like this. Ghosts don't like this. What room do ghosts avoid? Answer the question. Ghosts don't like this. Oh, I think the answer there. I put the answer across the screen. My bad. Well, whoever puts it in fastest will get it, I guess. If you saw it, you saw it. Make your life a little bit easier. What room do ghosts avoid? What room do ghosts avoid? Panel, you cannot be a part of this. Sorry, because you are the fastest in the thing, so you can't be more because you see it before because you're on the audio. I realized. Okay, fantastic. Yes. Well, I did give you guys the answer, so that was a little bit of a easy one. You know, I'm gonna give you one more riddle because that one I gave you the answer. I do apologize. Give you the answer. One more riddle. Okay, so we're gonna give you another one. Okay, so this time you won't see it come across the screen. Okay. Okay, so here goes the riddle. Baseball glove riddle. Okay, it's a baseball glove riddle. It says, what did the baseball glove say to the ball? What did the baseball glove say to the ball? What did the baseball glove say to the ball? Unfortunately, Andre, that one doesn't count because of the fact that, you know, because we came on the screen, so we couldn't do that. Someone said that.
Give him $1, coach. Since you're so generous with your dollars, give him $1.
Yeah, I need to start giving dollar cash apps because we broke it here.
5 cent, 10 cent, dollar.
I know these people are Googling as well. But it is what it is. Who was the first person to say it? HFG said it first, if I correctly. HFG said the right answer, said catch you later. So HFG, give me an email. My email, I'll put it across the screen so you guys, so I can start sending you guys a cash app later on tonight. Like I said, don't let me sleep. If I sleep, I ain't gonna give it to you, okay? Because it's yesterday's meal, okay? Just like daily bread, okay? So yeah, cash app, there it is. Send me an email. I will send you the cash app a little bit later as well. That includes you, Trey. Listen, audience, been amazing time. I thank you so much for coming through. Thank you so much for spending time with us. We're back here again on Saturday, back again on Sunday. Andre, I know, don't worry. The Lord said the silver and gold, I don't have any, but you know what it is, the rest of the scripture. All right, we'll see you guys soon. And you know what, I'm going to leave you because, you know, I can't leave here without something.
I'm leaving here with something. You know what I mean? I'm from around the way. I'm leaving with something.
That's how I feel about the Thick Sisters. I'm leaving here with